With Vincent Loria locked into the round of 4, 3 spots remain to be decided. Tonight, 3 more drivers lock into the championship round of 3 races that begins next week, but they'll have to roll the dice to get there. Las Vegas stands ahead as the next obstacle for 7 drivers, all vying for those positions, all vying for a chance for the jackpot. Welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV with Zach Burtis alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you for continuing coverage of the 2024 Icon Cup Series. Tonight's coverage from Las Vegas is brought to you by Whiplash Simcams, by ATVO, and by CC's Business. This is round 34 of 37, Zach. Yes, 34 now of 37. It was round 3 back in the spring, and we join now with just 3 races to go after this evening. 3 is a very common number. We've got a 3 car back in the field. It's just 3 is coming up for some reason a lot tonight. Not sure why, not sure what that might mean, but maybe that's the number to put your money on this evening if you're a gambling kind of person. Regardless, Zach, we show up here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Here's a look at the track map. This place is bad fast, so fast. If it were any faster, it would probably start to get on NASCAR's radar for a restrictor plate.
It just might. Can't really go to Las Vegas Motor Speedway without thinking back of when it used to not be this bank, Andrew. Remember when they first opened this facility, it was relatively flat, kind of like Homestead Miami Speedway was, until they added all that banking and it really started to pick up the pace. And you know, Las Vegas is always a great track for these cars to come to as well. I thoroughly enjoy coming to this track. I know you thoroughly enjoy everything you saw with the NASCAR Cup Series earlier today when they raced at this facility. So I think we're going to be in for one heck of a race that these guys are going to put on tonight. And yeah, let's maybe go hit up some slot machines. Let's gamble a little bit.
Well, let's see who's going to be rolling the dice this evening by the point standings anyways. Brian Smith needs to just turn on the car on the grid, and he's about locked into the next round. Nathan Finnegan, meanwhile, needs to get some stage points to just have a consistent day, while Ryan Patty and Charlie Widener are in a straight-up fight for that 4th position. Adam Ball, Kyle Purcell, Jacob Gladulich, they're all pretty much in a must-win situation or in that must-win situation, all while Vincent Loria is locked in by virtue of his Charlotte Roval win from a week ago. For the race to 5th, by the way, Joshua Clemens leads that charge currently. Granted, he's in 9th and waiting on the next 4 to be eliminated after this evening to see where he stacks up against each of them. Cody Eldred, 31 back, Kevin Gunther, 39 back. And it's interesting to watch this fight. Sean Purcell's been moving up the order a little bit, but he's still way out of that fight for 5th. It's going to be interesting to see who actually is able to get that 5th spot and be the best of the rest, more or less, within this championship. And Evan Patsinko leads the charge as far as best of the non-playoff drivers. Cody Neal getting very close, but that's all overshadowed by this amazing points battle we have this evening. 9 points, just 9 points going into this round between Ryan Patty and Charlie Widener. Those are the 2 drivers we'll be watching a whole lot.
That we are. There's a lot of math, and I don't like math. I do math so much on these broadcasts, do Andrew, and I just don't like it. But there's a lot of math going into tonight. We have stage points to consider. We have wins to consider. We have the fact that we have more than 30 cars in this field to consider, so even just a regular points total is up for grabs for these guys. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on everything. Hopefully I'll be able to keep everybody informed tonight, but realistically, like you said, Brian Smith just got to turn the car on. He's locked in. Nathan Finnegan, realistically, he just needs a calm day and he's going to be okay. But I think Charlie Widener, maybe Adam Ball, I think they're going to be on attack, and I think Kyle Purcell and Jacob Gladulich are going to be on absolute full send mode.
Well, here's a look at the season schedule for 2024 in the Icon Cup Series, going all the way back to Daytona. You see, it was actually the 2nd round here at Las Vegas. I was mistaken. We broadcasted, I guess, the first 3 races or something like that. I know we missed one in there somewhere, but it was Daytona, Las Vegas for round 2, then Phoenix, Bristol, so on and so forth. Now Las Vegas checks back in at the very end of this season as an elimination race. And I know it opened the round of 8 for the NASCAR Cup Series today and plays a pivotal role in the round of 8 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, but this is a really cool cutoff race because it is so wide open. You will have the certain drivers that dominate the show, but there are a lot of ways that you can still go to victory lane this evening, even if you're not one of the top drivers by speed.
Yeah, we've seen, I don't know how many times already, Andrew, where you don't need speed to win a race. Strategy plays into everything. There's so many different factors that could play into these guys winning tonight. There's tires, fuel, just the way the cautions fall. I'm excited to see how the last stage is going to play out, because there's always open possibility for overtimes as well. And we're at Vegas, Andrew. We got to roll those dice when it comes to overtime.
That we do. Well, qualifying is opening up down on the racetrack. Let's get into the iRacing.com sim, check the weather conditions, and get to qualifying. 85.7 degrees in the air, clear skies as far as the eye can see, and 98-degree track temp. Just about 20 minutes from the strip. It is warm. Not hot this time of year, but I would say warm for sure here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Cars on track for qualifying. Let's join some of them. Beginning with Nathan Finnegan, somebody who really just has to have, again, a very consistent day, and he can lock himself into the round of 4 to fight for a championship.
Yeah, he took a high line coming off of turn number 4 there to get his lap started.
A lot of cars hit the track right away. He's one of them. Most of the field getting straight to qualifying, so we're not going to get to cover that much of the field as Kyle Purcell goes fastest. He's a driver we got to watch this evening. He could go to victory lane. He was fast here in the spring.
Yeah, and you can actually see, flipping from the camera angles there, off of Finnegan onto Purcell. Purcell running lower down on the racetrack. Look at Loria. He's running all the way on the white line, whereas you saw Nathan Finnegan was running all the way up on the top. So there's a lot of difference between how these guys want to run this racetrack. It's fast on the bottom. It's fast on the top. You can make up time anywhere. As you see Brian Smith now getting his lap started. Kyle Purcell tops the board. And we're already almost halfway through this qualifying session. You were right, Andrew. Everybody's picking off laps.
Vincent Loria right to the top now at a 30.181, so he's the new fastest driver in qualifying. What's interesting is these drivers practiced under the dark of night, so this is a completely different racetrack for them. It was much cooler in their practice session, much warmer now with sunlight on it here in qualifying as Jacob Smith goes to the top of the board at a 30.06, and Brian Smith goes on the clock for lap 2.
And he does. 30.7 for Brian Smith. Might have been a throwaway lap that he was doing. You see him running the bottom. Down the back straightaway, Brian Smith goes. Like you said, Andrew, one of the drivers who just needs to start this race, log one lap, and then he can pretty much call it a day for his championship being settled into the final 4. And as he rolls off of turn number 4, clips the grass a teensy bit. That's a 30.044. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is quick time.
Wow. What a big lap from Brian Smith to go right to the top of the board. 22 hundredths of a second, if I did my math correctly. Yeah, 22 100ths as, well, it's saying 21 in ATVO, but it's 22 100ths as the 22 car is on the racetrack. Travis Gilbert making his return to the series. He's along with a couple of other drivers from vet to track. Ray Lane is out there as well. Ray Lane, lap 1 was a bit slow, but he paced practice. Watch this 41 car up and out of turns 3 and 4. He could be quick here on lap number 2. Let's see what he's got down to the stripe. It's going to be close. It's going to be a 30.208. That's still pretty good. That's top 10.
You see Gilbert on the clock. He posts the third best time with a 30.10. Cody Neal with a 30.11. So a lot of these drivers pulling out a lot of good times. At the end of the qualifying round, Ryan Patty, the driver who is on the cut line at the moment, he's got his time on the board. First lap, 30.68. That's good enough to slot him in right around 25th. So he's going to have to pick it up a little bit here through 3 and 4. He's got to make this time. Misses the white line just a wee bit, but he's going to roll it off at turn number 4. Let's see what he clocks.
The Terry Labonte throwback across the stripe is going to be a 30.303. Not what he was looking for in qualifying. That's going to net him a 16th place starting position or so. Logan Romney on the racetrack in car 42 in his Ford Mustang Dark Horse, making the switch from Toyota to Ford mid-season. Vinny Meistus also going to get out on the racetrack in his wireframe Sunoco number 70. Interesting paint scheme there for Vinny. But here's Logan Romney to the stripe. Vinny will get no lap. Steven Tuck, Charles Woods will get no lap. Logan Romney gets one, and his one lap of record will be a 30.491. That's good for 21st spot, and that will do it for qualifying.
Surprising to see Romney a little bit further down the running order, considering he was one of the top drivers in practice, but it just floats back to your previous point, Andrew. They practice on a dark track, and now it's daytime. The times have slowed down. These guys were running 1, 2, even maybe 3 to 4 tenths faster in the nighttime, and now they've slowed up quite a considerable amount. So they're going to have to change things up a little bit as they get rolling. As we roll into the warm-up, you can see the sun is starting to set off in the distance here at Las Vegas, Nevada, and maybe we might actually end this race under the lights.
Yeah, looks like we're going to have an evening sunset race. It's all by surprise here for us today. We didn't know practice would be at night, and then we didn't know that we'd be having a sunset start, but hey, that makes it all that much more fun. Let's look around the field and look at some of these paint schemes on the racetrack. Travis Gilbert was one that stuck out to me in practice and qualifying. There's the vet to track number 22. And
22 is a little preferable to your taste.
Well, it's a popular one today, or I guess unpopular in some ways. Popular as far as victory lane earlier today, I'll take it, but regardless, looking around the field, here's Kyle Purcell in his Chicagoland Racing 01. Charlie Widener in his App State Mountaineers, number 95, and I just love this paint scheme. I really do.
Big fan. Big fan of that paint scheme, especially considering all that's transpired in recent events right now. And I know App State was one of the places affected by the hurricane that swept through North Carolina, but that's a nice looking paint scheme on Waylon Turner with FedEx on the side of that car. I think Denny Hamlin should take some notes.
Well, my favorite part of it is on the quarter panel where it says Pit Stop TV, and then again on the seat pillar where it says Whiplash Sim Cams. But it's a good paint scheme for sure from Waylon Turner. Darkaeus Designs always turns out some bangers, if you will. Kevin Gunther's on the racetrack in car 31. This is one of the few drivers that'll be running the same paint scheme that he ran here in the spring. But he is running that exact same Narragansett Brewing number 31 car. Another driver who I believe is running the same paint scheme is going to be the 6 of Nathan Finnegan, who I don't see on track, and sure enough, he's not on track currently. Sean Purcell, same paint scheme as back in the spring, as Vinny Maestas goes fastest. That's surprising for a driver who didn't turn a qualifying lap to go out there and go fastest in warm-up. This is like a mini practice session, and a mini happy hour, if you will, and that's a really surprising lap time as Adam Ball now goes fastest.
Well, this is going to set the tone for the rest of the night. This is probably the only time they're going to have practice conditions closer to what they'll experience in race time. So, to be realistic here, Andrew, I'm not going to base my picks off of qualifying. I'm going to base them off of the practice times that we're seeing in the warm-up right now. You got Brian Smith top of the, well, excuse me, no, that was in qualifying, but, you've got Vinny Maestas at the top of the board, Brian Smith close to the top of the board. These guys are clicking off laps that are, like I said, closer to what we'll see in race time. As we look on with Zach Lockett here. There's Brock Hersey, one of the drivers that was in the playoffs in the first round, got knocked out, but he's still having a good run.
A new driver here, Tristan Pirine, and boy, if not for Samaje Pirine in the NFL, I don't think I know how to pronounce his last name, but that's at least the way Samaje's name is pronounced, Samaje Pirine. I'm going to go with Tristan Pirine here for Tristan. But a new driver making his debut, as far as I'm aware, in the Icon Cup Series this evening. A part-timer. Good to see him here this evening. Jacob Smith is back in the 21 car. He's been a lot of fun to watch at certain points this season. Hanover Fist is here in the very, very electric-looking 69 car. Boy, that is that'll get you from across the racetrack. You're not going to miss it.
I don't think we're going to miss that paint scheme too often tonight. Joshua Clemens in his Davey Allison throwback. Big fan of a Davey Allison throwback. Always love seeing that. Kevin Gunther, Anthony Teseo, another driver who was, I believe, in the playoffs and had a good shot to advance to the next round. And
wasn't quite. He almost qualified, but ended up missing a lot of races towards the back end of the summer and just didn't quite make it.
Same thing for one driver we've talked about quite often, Cody Neal. He's missed a few races and he's always had speed. Didn't make it into the playoffs this season, but Hopefully that changes next time around. Thomas Taylor on the racetrack. And that Bang Fuel number 57 car. Never had Bang, Andrew. Have you ever tried that drink before?
I have, way back when, but you know, I don't mean to brag, but I tried Bang before it was popular, before it was the new thing, and man, that was back in like 2018. I recall I was still living in California, and Pit Stop TV was kind of in hiatus at the time, but regardless, we've got 1 second left here of warm-up, and we're going to move right on into race conditions. Let's talk about what's upcoming for us at Pit Stop TV briefly here. Before we go racing this evening, we go to Circuit of the Americas this Wednesday, October 23rd. Then it's out to Homestead Miami Speedway with the Icon Cup Series to kick off the round of 4. That'll be October 27th. Before we go Halloween racing with the Gen 6 car, a zombie car, if you will, with that zombie-looking paint scheme from Cody Williams design on the number 4 Ford Mustang that you see on your screen for the Jack-O-Lantern 200 put on by Regal Promotions. You were in their most recent race that we covered, and you won that race, the Victory Fuel 125 back in May. Let's see how this one goes at Auto Club Speedway with the Gen 6 car. Next, not this coming Wednesday, but the weekend or the Wednesday thereafter. But let's see what we can do here this evening with a field of 32 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Let's meet the starting grid. On pole, Brian Smith in car 78. Jacob Smith joins him over his right shoulder. Starting third, it's the 22 car, Travis Gilbert, alongside Cody Neal, a couple of Ford Mustangs in row 2, and another Ford Mustang here in row number 3, Vincent Loria, alongside the now Chevrolet driver, Cameron Thompson. Starting 7th, it's Cody Eldred in a Chevrolet, then it's Ray Lane from the outside of row 4. Finally, Chase Lewis and Kyle Purcell wrap up your top 10.
Going into the second third of what is your more than 30 card field tonight, we have 11th and 12th, Nathan Finnegan and Evan Patinko. Finnegan still trying to make sure he's pointed into the playoffs round of 4 next week. Waylon Turner and Adam Ball, 13th and 14th on the starting grid tonight. That's row number 7. Rolling into row number 8, Sean Purcell and Ryan Patty. Probably one of the worst qualifying performances out of the drivers running to get into the final 4. So he's got to pick it up a little bit going into the rest of the night. 17th and 18th on the starting grid, Jacob Bladulich and Tristan. Oh my goodness, I heard you say it earlier.
P. Ryan.
P. Ryan, thank you. I'm going to have to struggle with that one tonight, but Charlie Widener and Kevin Gunther in the 19th and 20th position. That's row number 10. The
remainder of the field quickly. Let's go through Logan Romney, Robert Bluen, Zach Lockett, Thomas Taylor, Eric Smith, Joshua Clemens, Anthony DeSeo, Brock Hersey, finally Hanover Fist and Charles Woods, your top 30, then Vinny Meistis and Stephen Tuck. Looks like all 32 cars are on the racetrack and ready to go this evening. Real quick, Whiplash SimCam's race details on your screen. It's a 160-lap race, 48-lap stage 1, 51-lap stage 2 to end at lap 99, then a 61-lap stage 3 to go to the end. We'll leave this on screen for the first lap. Green flag on the way from Barney the Flagman here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Brian Smith on pole. He won this race in the spring. Green flag is in the air. Down the Nellis straightaway here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Jacob Smith with the run on the outside lane is going to clear for first.
Huge stack up on the start of the race. Cody Neal did not get going, so the whole field behind has been shuffled around. You can see him almost 3 wide back there. Finnegan's on the bottom. Car's getting loose up on the top. Lap 1, Jacob Smith is going to lead us past the start-finish line. Give it to him for the lap lead. Gilbert trying to pass around the outside of Brian Smith. He's going to come down the racetrack to get clear. Not sure that's a great move coming onto the end of the turn onto the straightaway, but he gets the job done. Most cars get in single file as we roll into 3.
You know, early in this race in the spring, a couple of drivers ran 4th and 5th. I watched it back earlier today, at least bits of it. It was Cody Neal and Vincent Loria. Now, here on lap 2, they run 4th and 5th, although 5th is under fire. Vincent Loria under fire from the 41 car of Ray Lane, who goes straight on by on the inside. Easy pass made there by the vet to track number 41 car, who was oh so good back at Bristol. Clearly bringing the heat as we've got Travis Gilbert going for the race lead.
On the inside of Jacob Smith, he's going to pull out in front, get clear by the center of the corner, and that is a new race leader, 22, out in front of the 21 as they go on to lap number 4 of the event. Now, another lead change. We've already had 3 lead changes in the first 3 laps, Andrew, and a new fastest time for Gilbert.
These newbies are not afraid to wheel around the drivers that are going for a championship. They were so fast back at Bristol Motor Speedway. They come back this evening and show they're not just fast on a short track, but fast on an intermediate. They have got speed. Travis Gilbert away with the race lead. Jacob Smith hits the wall trying to keep up. Ray Lane, 3rd place. Brian Smith wondering what the heck is going on to the race that he dominated back in the spring as 3 cars drive away from the 78 car. This is rare to see.
That it is. Brian Smith dropping back early on, but he could be saving tires. Andrew, you never know. There's always strategy in play as the sun continues to set here, and as it continues to set, track temp's going to go down, air temp's going to go down, and it's going to change the whole ball game. And I think this is what Brian Smith might be preparing for, as Nathan Finnegan is trying to find a way around Cody Neal. Very squirrely on the front straightaway. I thought they were going to get tipped around right there, and we have ourselves the first caution of the night. But it looks like Finnegan gets clear.
Finnegan has gotten so much faster as this season has gone on. He's struggled to crack the top 10 back in the spring. Comes here this evening, is straight in the top 10, racing into the top 5 here in the first 6 laps of racing. Really good stuff out of that car as Ray Lane will take over second from Jacob Smith, and that officially puts 2 part-timers out front of this field. 3 part-timers technically if you include Jacob Smith, but he's been like a full-timer. He's part of the crew now. So to see 2 of these newcomers out front, I think, is going to rattle the cage of some of these drivers that have been here all season and are trying to go for a championship. Here you see Brian Smith, Nathan Finnegan, Kyle Purcell, 3 playoff drivers in a row. 3 of the 4 that are in the top 10. Vincent Lauria about to fall out of the top 10.
Lauria has been dropping back a little bit. Not a lot of pace we've seen so far. Adam Ball looking to the inside, covers him off, but now 1 car to the outside.
That's the 3, Waylon Turner. Waylon Turner going to go by. He's been quick in his starts here in the Icon Cup Series. Made a number change from the 0-3 to the 3. Now gets to the outside of Cody Neal. And from 11th to 8th at a lap for Waylon Turner in the 3 car.
Outside line seems to be coming in nicely, Andrew. A lot of drivers making way on that top line. See Adam Ball trying to work around Cody Neal. Side by side, down the back straightaway they go, but Ball clears. Neal falls in right behind, slots in front of Lauria. You see Purcell slotting in front of Eldred. You see Patinko up on the top. Now more drivers are rotating down to the bottom line as we roll past the front straightaway speed shot. Everybody's just trying to find where they're comfortable with their race car right now, where they think it's going to be the most effective on the racetrack. As Gilbert has stretched his lead out to 4:10 over Lane, who was the second in front of Smith. One of the Smiths, that is. Brian Smith 4th, and Finnegan still in the 5th spot.
Love these vantage points. You can see just how fast these guys are moving here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Pass made for 4th. Nathan Finnegan up to be the highest challenger of the full-time drivers. So he cracks the top 4 now. Chase Lewis, the other part-timer, pulls up here in the 7th spot. He wants to go at Kyle Purcell. Go on board with driver 84. He got to Kyle's right rear. He had a pretty nice run at one point in the corner, then fell back now as a run down the front stretch and wants to get to the outside of that 0-1 machine. We'll try to do so here on the top side of turns 1 and 2, but falls back ever so slightly. Will stay in line behind Kyle Purcell in that 0-1. Now looks to the inside. It might have something here. That Toyota Camry looks good here early. The 84 moves straight up into 6th now, nosing ahead of that 0-1 ever so slightly. And now falls back. Purcell had the run off the corner. Jacob Smith under fire here. Here comes Nathan Finnegan.
Lots of different strategies playing out right here. You see rolling from the back cam. There's Finnegan trying to chase down Jacob Smith. Personally, Andrew, I don't know about you, but I see Nathan Finnegan having a shot to win this stage with the pace that he's shown so far. He's quickly making work of everyone, but at the same time, you gotta think, is he burning up his tires too much, trying to chase down the leaders? Jacob Smith had a big wiggle off of turn number 4, and now Finnegan's closed in a lot for that 3rd spot.
The 6 certainly looks good. He just needs to look a little better as Waylon Turner gets real free off of turn number 2. I wouldn't call the 6 race-winning speed just yet. I would say the only race-winning cars I've seen so far today are the top 2. Whoa, Kyle Purcell got free off the corner. He was lucky to hang on to that race car. He's going to pay the price, though, and fall all the way down outside of the top 10 behind Vincent Loria. By the way, Adam Ball has raced back into the top 10 and works on the outside here of Chase Lewis. So I think we're already seeing a little bit of comers and goers in these first 15 laps. Stage 1, 48 laps in total. We expect pit stops somewhere between 20 and 30 laps completed in this stage as these guys are getting free.
Everyone's getting free. Look at that. I thought we were going to be 4 wide for a second. Loria's worked his way back up inside the top 10 now. Cody Neal's dropping back. Everyone's just feeling out the grip. Once the rubber gets laid down a lot more as the race goes on, it should be a lot easier for these drivers. As we take a look at the air temp and track conditions, we've gone down almost 10 degrees on the track conditions, so the fact that these guys are slipping and sliding now is quite surprising to me because they should have a little bit more grip.
Take a look at the race leaders. They have swapped spots. Ray Lane now takes control of this race at the 41. He takes over from his teammate Travis Gilbert. Smith runs in 3rd. Then Finnegan and Brian Smith. And Brian Smith, by the way, is locked into the final 4, I'd say. Not officially or anything like that, but I would say unofficially locked in now, especially running in a stage point position as he nabs the wall there off of turn 4. So he will almost certainly fight for a championship. Nathan Finnegan in a very good spot. Talking about our championship situation, Zach, boy, does it get murky right now because our 2 drivers that are fighting for that last spot in the final 4, no, my gosh, Ryan Patty, they are 20th and 21st on the racetrack, Zach. Here they are. You see them both in frame, the 30 and the 95.
If I do my math correctly, right now, Ryan Patty would be in by 10 points over Charlie Widener. The thing that confuses me is when it comes to position differences, especially if they're running super close to each other. Because if Ryan Patty gets passed by Charlie Widener, would that be +9 or would that be +8 because Patty lost position at the same time Charlie Widener gained a position?
+8, I believe. And, I mean, look at Ryan Patty. He's way sideways. Oh, spinner! Chase Lewis into the pit lane.
That might be a black flag right there for an unsafe pit entry. He's rolling down the pit lane now, too, so that's going to be a speeding penalty. He's going to pull it right into the box.
He might just call it a day.
That's Charlotte.
Yeah, he's going to call it a day.
Cody Eldred's box. That's a toe to the pit lane. And a black flag for the 84, Chase Lewis.
Well, and a point for each of these drivers.
Yeah, but
not that it's going to matter a whole lot. Yeah, it's not going to matter a whole lot in their battle, but it's a point for each one of them at the very least.
Here's the point that's going to matter. Patty over Gunther. That's going to put him +11 to the cut line. Widener needs to cut that gap down, though. Get those points back. It's about to be +12 if Patty gets by Zach Lockett right here.
Well, if Ryan Patty runs this far down the order, you have to consider Kyle Purcell pointing his way in to be a possibility. I didn't think it would be that realistic. I thought Ryan would be a lot better to start this race. But Kyle Purcell... I'm sorry, Adam Ball, rather, would be able to point his way in.
Adam Ball would be the one who's closer on the running order right now.
Adam swap. Ball 18 back coming into tonight. Could point his way in.
18 back at the moment. 9th to what should be 16th. So that would be...
That's 7 points.
7 points. So that's a gain. That puts him +11 outside the cut line right now. But here's the other factor. Adam Ball is up in the top 10 and could potentially get up there to get some stage points in the next 20 laps or so. There's still open opportunity for him to gain some more points on top of that. So I think Ryan Patty needs to remember he's not just fighting maybe one other driver to defend his point on the cut line. He's defending a couple other drivers that might be able to point their way in rather than take a win away.
Yeah, if Ryan and Charlie run this far down the order, it opens up the game for Adam Ball to get in without a win. But I'd say certainly if Ryan Patty is top 15 or better today, that takes that away. It's going to be really difficult to point in if the 30 car takes the top 15, even with stage points. It's going to be difficult, but possible. Just difficult. So we've got a driver sliding down the order. Travis Gilbert ought to run his tires up, and he is sliding down now, all the way down to 7th spot. So they had a lot of speed quickly, but even here comes Vincent Loria, who we thought was in a bad spot because he was outside of the top 10. He is now into 4th behind Nathan Finnegan. On another car, it looks like puts down some smoke. There's some smoke there out of the 4th corner. Ray Lane's lead is starting to dissolve.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of the drivers that used up their tires a little bit more early on in the stage. Gilbert dropping back 2.5 seconds back from Lane now. Loria has found the pace to get back up into the 4th spot, like you said. Brian Smith is starting to claw away at that lead. This man is still on his tear. He is locked in realistically. Like you said, Andrew, not officially, but based on the point standpoint, Brian Smith is locked in. And he's still going after these wins. He's going after these stage points. He is not going to be denied. And if he wins the stage, that would put him at least plus 60 to the cut line, not to mention the points over the other drivers. So call it what you will. Ryan Patty 15th. That would be plus 65. No, plus 75. So call Brian Smith a lock, Andrew. He's done for this round. He knows exactly where his focus is, but he's still out here to make something happen.
Well, if he wins this race, he becomes the number 1 seed in the Final Four. He's been the number 1 seed all season long. Although, here comes pit stops. Logan Romney first to make it down to the pit lane, it looks like. Tristan Pirine is in and 3 laps down, but Romney is the first of the drivers to actually pit, and he slides right through his box. Problems for the 42 car, trying to make it in. He's still adjusting, finally gets it, and will tow. It's unfortunate. Chase Lewis and Logan Romney, they've been a lot of fun to watch this season when they stick around. That's when they stick around. Tonight, not sticking around. I would like to see them stick around a little bit more. Hopefully they go back and listen to this broadcast, because we'd like to see them on the racetrack more. They just got to stay with us. Here we go for the race lead. Ray Lane, Brian Smith. Smith painting the inside lane. Wow, and Lane all the way out to the wall. Oh my gosh, real free. Gonna lose the race lead to Brian Smith on lap 28.
Call a close one right there for that 41 car, but he made it work.
Cody Neal, Waylon Turner, one of the next closest battles in the racetrack. Neal in 7th. Now in the spring, these guys had already pitted by lap 29, so it's interesting that they've stayed on the racetrack this long. They don't have the fuel to go to the end of the stage. What they might do is come in for fuel only.
I was about to say, fuel only would possibly be the way to go. Save yourself a set of tires. Oh, how many sets of tires do these guys have again? We saw
4 change sets.
There you go. So, equal it out. That's about a change set, what, every 50 laps?
They can take tires every time if they want. That is every time they take fuel. Between the stages and how it all works out, they can take tires every time if they want. But if they want to save a set and have an extra set in case of a late caution, this is the play. And we saw drivers do that back in the spring, and that's how they ended up making it to the end with an extra set of tires. There was a late caution with 29 to go, and that opened up the opportunity for these guys to get tires in the car, go race for the win, race it out. Brian Smith ultimately went to victory lane. Kyle Purcell was there. Mike Christopher was there, but this is the play, in my opinion. This is what you have to do. You have to try and save this set during at least this stage, if not as well, stage number 2. The difference if I can get it out, the difference though is there is that other way to run this stage, which would be to pit, take tires, and get back on the racetrack, because Adam Ball's got a problem. But if you come in and get tires, you're able to try and go for stage points as Ball runs through the grass here on the front straightaway. Thankfully, even as he clipped the quarter mile there, did not go up and over, unlike Tyler Reddick.
Ooh, a little too soon on that one.
Oh, it's never too soon. As you see the 19 car behind the 31 that I know Kevin Gunther's still got his playoff decals on that 31 car, but he is no longer in the playoffs here in the Icon Cup Series. Unfortunately eliminated very early in this season, or this playoff season, if you will.
Well, Andrew, we've only got about 15 or so laps left in this stage. 15, 14 laps or so. Vincent Loria on the attack of Nathan Finnegan. He's a little loose on the bottom. That's going to be something we're seeing a lot throughout the night. And I'm hearing the 41 is going to be taken to the pit lane here on this lap, Andrew.
That's going to force the hands of these regulars to come in quickly. Vincent Loria.
Oh, he's spinning!
Wow! That he hung on to it. He hung on to it. Wow.
What a save.
Saw from the onboard there.
Hot.
Yeah, for real. Saw from the onboard there of Vincent Loria. He just hung on to that race car. This also brings Vinny Meistus into the pit lane, as well as Ryan Patty. This is a smart play for Patty, I feel like. Come in, maybe take tires and try to drive through the field, or just be one of the first to pit lane in any regard. Misses the box, though. What's it going to be for car 30? Fuel only.
Off and away.
What is the play, meanwhile, for Ray Lane? Full service. 4 tires and fuel. That's surprising. That's very surprising from somebody that had all that speed and was up front. But the Team Conti.gg driver is going to take those 4 tires and run with it. But that tells you how far back he falls. He's going to exit the pit lane somewhere around Ryan Patty, a little bit forward of Ryan Patty. Patty was down around 15th. So Ray Lane's got to drive from 15th or so up through the field now as more drivers are pitting. Travis Gilbert, Cody Neal are in. Cody Neal this time, fuel only. Travis Gilbert, fuel only. Nathan Finnegan, Jacob Smith.
See, now, what about taking tires now so you don't have to take tires at the end of the stage?
I think you'll definitely want to take tires for the stage. Just to be even with everybody, otherwise you can end up going a lap down in a hurry. Brian Smith going to come in. Cameron Thompson comes in. Vincent Loria stays out. I think everybody staying out for sure is going to be fuel only. I think it was only those first few drivers that came in that might go for tires. Of course, we saw the 41 of Ray Lane opt for tires. You see Cameron Thompson in the background here of this shot. It's a fuel-only call for Brian Smith. It's a fuel-only call for Cameron Thompson running the wrong paint scheme. Uh-oh. Fuel only for Adam Ball. Here comes Waylon Turner to the pit lane. Kyle Purcell follows. Vincent Loria is in. We'll see what Loria does. He could strike me as somebody who had to take 2 or 4 tires here, but it's going to be, it looks like, fuel only for driver 67. Waylon Turner comes in. He's taking right sides. Does he take lefts? Answer is, survey says, yes. Left sides. So 4 tires, full service for the 3 car. Kyle Purcell down and away, fuel only. Cody Eldred down and away, fuel only. And Jacob Gladulich comes in. This should just about complete the pit cycle, Zach, with Gladulich and Teseo making it into the pit lane. This is about everybody in now.
Now you see where the cycles have fallen away. Brian Smith inherits the lead realistically here as Gladulich is coming off pit road. So there's Smith taking the lead. Loria's up to second. He jumped Finnegan by about a couple of tenths, realistically speaking. Actually, by
a second and a half.
Sizable margin.
He got him by a lot.
Looking through the ticker as everyone was coming out of the pit lane, but it looks like Finnegan has gotten a lot bigger of a gap than I initially thought. Lane realistically pulls into 4th, and then Jacob Smith is 5th.
I think Vincent Loria saved fuel there early in the stage because Vincent only took about, took a second less in the pit lane. 5.78 seconds for Loria and 6.83 for Finnegan. So a big difference on the pit lane.
or
for
maybe
those
he
drivers.
just took enough fuel to make it to the end of the stage.
Well, that's what all these guys are doing. I think he's saved fuel to take less, but here comes Ray Lane. He's only 3 seconds out of the race lead. Uh-oh. He could get there. He could win this stage by taking tires. This is what I was talking about. This is that other play. Take the tires, get the stage points. We have a non-playoff driver that's going to steal some of these stage points.
Hey, do what they don't. Isn't that what they tell you in driver's meeting? See if you can find a way to differentiate your strategy from everybody else's. But that also means he's going to be on these tires a lot longer, and his strategy could be a little bit different compared to everybody else, unless he decides he wants to take tires at the stage caution as well and burn a set like this. But then again, I don't know how well that would fare. So maybe stay on these tires, roll them into the next stage, and see what you can do from there. So I'm interested to see how well this strategy is going to play out. But
I misspoke earlier.
Andrew.
I just did the math in my head. I said you could take tires every time you take fuel. You have to save at least one set for stage 3. At least one. So he's going to have to save a set in stage 2, I would think. As Vincent Loria gets passed up there by Thomas Taylor, here comes Ray Lane on the inside. Let's see, who else took tires that's moving up? Vinny Maestros took tires. He sits in 11th. Looking through the field. Waylon Turner took tires, but he's in 17th. Charles Woods took tires, but he's in 19th. Ryan Patty is down to 20th. And, oh boy, where's the 95? Charlie Widener's up to 14th spot. Patty in 20th. That's a big difference. That's 6 positions. That is a sizable change in pace between those two drivers. As here comes Ray Lane for the race lead. He takes it right away.
That's going to be a stage win at this rate for the 41 car.
Unless there's a caution, in which at this point a caution would end the stage. So, yeah, that's a stage win. Just about guaranteed for the 41 of Ray Lane.
Pulling away from Brian Smith now. He's already got half a second of a lead. Loria's still in 3rd. Finnegan's in 4th. So looking at your top 5 as we roll to the end of the stage, Brian Smith is going to collect stage points. Vincent Loria is going to collect stage points. Nathan Finnegan's going to collect stage points. So this is going to start affecting the playoff battle. Vincent Loria is already locked in. Brian Smith would move himself an extra 4 points above, and Finnegan would move himself an extra couple of points above. That would be 2 points added on to Finnegan. So call it about 29 from the cut line. Ryan Patty at the moment currently sits a little bit further down the running order compared to these guys. He's all the way down. Where exactly is Ryan Patty? I'm looking through.
Was 20.
29th spot, 2 laps down.
Oh, he had to have a penalty because he's back in the pit lane. No, he's hit the wall. He's got a lot of right side damage. Hold on.
When did that happen? Oh my goodness.
We're going to flip back a little bit further. The stage end is coming up. It looks to have happened right there. So watch this.
Time loose.
And smashes the wall right in front of Cody Eldred. And that could ruin the day and the championship 4 hopes for Ryan Patty. That could be it.
He's got to have a meatball flag for that one. And
he's back on the racetrack. Back on the racetrack, 2 laps down and a lot of damage. It's the final lap, though, of stage number 1. And Ray Lane is out of turn 4 now to win stage 1. Green and white checkered flag for driver 41. Ray Lane is your stage 1 winner.
A dominating difference in strategy. But here's the kicker, Andrew. Here's the biggest kicker.
No caution yet.
Oh, maybe they're running out this lap right here.
It's usually an immediate yellow. This is strange.
Right, Patty's in the wall again. He's another lap down, rolling back to the start-finish line.
They're going to have to throw this yellow at some point. That's a lap late now.
Caution,
there it is.
Caution on the speedway. I want to give a little bit of credit here. Ryan Patty is the one that throws the cautions for these drivers, and he was absolutely struggling to beat the ban.
They must have missed something. Usually they have it set to be automatic through a third-party software. it must be that it wasn't set up right, or something went wrong, and he was battling the race car so aggressively that, yeah, he must have. That must be why he was in the wall. I mean, considering, yes, he's got handling damage, but also he was probably trying to fight the car and get his hand over to the mouse to click on the caution button.
And let's call this as it is, Andrew. You have got everyone from 22nd to 28th, one lap down. So Ryan Patty has realistically put himself out of a free pass position, and the strategy call by Lane in the 41 has lapped more of these drivers that could have been able to give him a free pass situation. And look at Patty, he's trying to get that car slowed down. He has no control over what that car is doing. I'm assuming he's crab walking inside that thing as well. Yeah, look at the wheel. He's got it pointed a little bit to the right.
Well, he's almost straight up and down turning around the racetrack. I mean, there should be a little bit of wheel input there to the left, and there just isn't. It's center to the right. Here come drivers, though, to the pit lane.
Patty's going to pit with them. That's going to be a penalty for the 30 car.
He needs to, though. You can see just how damaged that car is. He needs all the time he can get.
Ryan Patty has a pit for repair flag. Meatball once again, so he's got more damage on that race car. It is hurting.
Here we go. Pit stops round 2. This should be a 4-tire and fuel stop for most of the field. Ray Lane may be down and away quickly with a no-tire stop. Actually, he's going to take right sides. Does he take less here? I think he's going to. He's going to burn a set like that. That is a choice, certainly. Waylon Turner's down and away quickly. Eric Smith is down and away quickly. Travis Gilbert, 2 tires. Ryan Smith, though, leads the bunch of drivers for the championship back off the pit lane.
Hold on.
Well, we're going to dial up Ray Lane here for the Stage 1 win. And we'll talk with driver 41, who goes on to win this first stage. Ray, clearly a lot of speed in that 41 car, but why the choice to take the set of tires? Obviously, it gets you the stage win, but why the choice to take that set of tires and go back out there?
I feel like with this group of guys, they'll probably be caution-free, maybe. That's what I'm betting on, but if not, then it'll bite me in the butt. But I'm just here to win, so I ain't here to finish in behind any of the chase with guys. Let me put it that way.
Here to win, and we've seen a bunch of pace out of you already. So what does that road to victory lane look like for you the rest of this race as you battle with Waylon Turner and such on this restart?
Well, Waylon's a good teammate, and Travis a teammate, so we'll see what happens. I think it'll probably be a decent race, but we'll see.
And, of course, you guys have made a very loud entrance here to the Icon Cup Series, and it sounds like you're going full-time in 2025. What does it look like for you guys, your operation? I see Veta Track on the side. I see Waylon Turner painting all your guys' cars, and they look fantastic. But what does that operation look like for you guys in 2025?
I think all of us are going to run. I think we're going to have 2 different teams, so it'll be pretty good. I'll put it that way.
2 teams.
All of us practice together and everything. So,
how many are there? How many of you guys are there?
8.
Boy, that is a community in and of itself, nearly a whole league field right there with 8 drivers, 2 teams worth here. Ray Lane going to bring himself and his crew here to the Icon Cup Series in 2025. It's good to talk to you. Congratulations on the stage win. Hopefully we're talking to you again later in this race.
Thank you, man.
That's Ray Lane with the stage 1 win. He'll restart alongside Waylon Turner, his teammate, here for stage number 2. And this, of course, eats up the first few laps of stage 2, which makes it a little bit easier, Zach, to actually go this full distance on one set of tires. Just a little bit easier.
A little bit. We got a few other drivers back on pit road, and see Stephen Tuck has dropped out of this race, so there's a lot of new variables coming in. And not to mention, we've got Ryan Patty still 3 laps down. He's trying to keep that car on the racetrack. He's back on pit road for more damage repair as we get ready to come back around to restart this race. So, got to find something if you want to point yourself in. You're currently sitting 29th, and Adam Ball is 18th. So, that's an 11-point gain. That puts him... Hold on. That puts him 7 points out from Ryan Patty.
Looks like Steven Tuck is out of this race. Tristan Perrine is back in. Logan Romney, Chase Lewis stay out of this race. So down to 29 drivers as we begin stage number 2 here. Out of turn number 4, Waylon Turner going to bring us to the green flag. Waiting on it in the Geico restart zone. And green flag is back in the air at Las Vegas. Three wide to turn 1. Brian Smith on the inside. Ray Lane. Waylon Turner all the way up.
3 wide as they roll off of turn number 2. Back to double.
And into the third turn. Here comes Vincent Loria. Here comes Cody Neal. A battle to the stripe to lead this first lap off the restart. It's going to be Brian Smith down low in the 78 car. He gets there first. Boy, if that was for the win, could you imagine?
It could have been close. But we're only into stage 2. As
Wow.
Loria now takes a trek around the outside.
Well, look at Ray
Neal.
Lane. he was just behind the 78 at the stripe and just surges ahead through 1 and 2. It's crazy what you can do on the outside lane.
Outside line's going to be probably the money maker, really. You can save tires the best out there, and you can roll it, so it's got a lot of good speed as Loria now takes a look outside of Brian Smith for this second spot. He's going to get clear, comes down to cover off. Now Cody Neal with a big run on the top side. So what we saw in stage 1. Brian Smith drops back a little bit, but wait for him to come on back as the race goes on.
A lot of stories here early in this second stage. Ray Lane fires back to the race lead. Vincent Loria second, then Cody Neal and Brian Smith. And you have to wonder if those guys who saved a set in stage 1 might burn an extra set here in stage 2 to go for those stage points. I think you have to if your name is Cody Neal, or not Cody Neal, Ryan Patty. That's what I'm thinking of in the 30 car. Completely different names, but that's what I'm thinking of anyway. I think you have to if you're Kyle Purcell. I think you have to if you're Adam Ball. You have to try and put yourself in the front. If not for stage points, then to begin stage 3 at the front of the field. That's why I say so for Kyle Purcell, because even though he can't point his way in tonight, he wants to be out front to begin that third stage and try and keep himself there. You need that track position at the end of stage 2.
Track position, track position, track position. What do we say, Andrew? It's always at a premium, no matter what track you go to. It's going to be, realistically speaking, Andrew, it's going to be a premium at the next 3 tracks that we go to, because we know this next gen race car is notoriously tricky when it comes into this dirty air, and especially at a track like Martinsville, that's going to be something that's going to be a hindrance for these guys. And as we look on, here is Ryan Patty. He's about to go another lap down, Andrew. 4 laps down. He's picked up a spot since Steven Tuck is no longer in the race. So that's position gain for him, but look at how much he's crab walking down the straightaway. That wheel is at 1 o'clock, and he's not happy about it.
Lets Ray Lane go by, drops down to 4 laps down, and plows up the outside of the racetrack. Nearly gets the wall there. As here comes this pack. Oh my gosh, this is going to be difficult for these guys to get by. Cody Neal going to lead the charge. He's going to go high. Ryan Patty holds low, but that car could go up the racetrack at any time. Here comes Brian Smith on by, then Vincent Loria, Nathan Finnegan, Waylon Turner, Kyle Purcell, Jacob Smith. It got close there for a couple of guys.
They got a little too close for my liking, especially around Finnegan. I figured Ryan Patty would run all the way down on the white line, but it looks like he was trying to stay with him as much as he can. You see now he's fallen well outside of this pack, and the single file cars behind him are currently catching. So now, Cody Neal, a clean sail. So he's trying to go forward, but looks like they're just losing ground, Ray Lane.
I think Ray Lane is running qualifying laps. I just don't know how good that's going to work out for him in the rest of this run. I mean, he's got speed, clearly. I just worry about his strategy choices. Whoa, hello! That was close. Cody Neal about fenced the 78. He's going to give him in the left rear here. He's just going to drive into the 4-car. These guys, they have had some run-ins. These KU Motorsports and Outback Motorsports drivers, they've had their fair share of run-ins this season. They don't like each other on the racetrack, even if they're friends off the racetrack. They get aggressive.
Ooh,
they get physical.
really
You see it there again. They doored each other, did Cody Neal and Brian Smith.
Vincent Loria and Brian Smith have had multiple run-ins already this season, and now they're championship rivals. And Cody Neal, big contact into Brian Smith. I don't see this ending well if they can't keep these tempers
and
under
Brian
control.
Smith just
Cody Neal
turns left. Big picture here. If this turns into a crash, you have to wonder if admins get involved. Do you end up... Oh, is there going to make more contact off the second corner? You got to think big picture here.
Involved. He's forcing him up the racetrack now. Finnegan waiting for something to happen. He knows something's going to transpire between these cars. Cody Neal sits back in line right behind Vincent Loria. And as we go up the racetrack into turn number 1, now they're starting to give each other a little bit of space. I got to agree with you, Andrew. When do you find that admins need to get involved, and how do you differentiate the big picture here?
Well, I think they're fine.
Get into this.
They're fine with what they've done so far, but you have to think big picture if it turns into a crash, because that could absolutely turn into a points penalty, a suspension maybe, if you can tell that there was clear intent, or just reckless intent even. You've got to be careful. Going to these last 3 races of the season, admins will be watching you like a hawk. These last 3 races, it's all for the championship, and they don't want, the admins are not going to want this to come down to tempers and whatnot to decide the championship in these last 3 races at Homestead, at Martinsville, and at Phoenix. And
I don't
we've
know if you saw it back there, but Gladulich and Lockett almost got into each other going down the backstretch. I was out of camera shot right back there.
Waylon Turner puts a block here on somebody. That was Cameron Thompson. There was smoke behind him into turn 1. I mean, everything is coming unhinged right now. And it's stage
so much
2.
Going on. Well, we can't cover it all here on Pit Stop TV, but we'll definitely do our best to keep everyone informed as Loria is now catching up to Brian Smith. Oh man, I don't even want to speak it into existence, Andrew, but I think you know the question that's gonna come out of my mouth that I'm about to ask you.
I don't think I do, actually, for once.
The history between these two, the entire season, do we see Loria start getting a little bit more aggressive to get around Brian Smith and potentially end up causing the wreck that we talked about a little bit ago? He's hanging on the quarter panel. He's going for it. They're making contact once again.
Oh, Smith just turned left into his door there. Caution in the background.
Oh,
Cameron Thompson, it's still happening. That's Adam Ball in it. In the 19.
This is championship implications. This is what Ryan Patty wanted to see.
Yes and no. That's a teammate.
Well.
Yes and no. It's a big yes and no there. Let's see what happened here. It seems to have started between Waylon Turner and Cameron Thompson, potentially. Thompson's up ahead, actually racing with Sean Purcell. So it looks like it's going to start with the 04 and the 7. Purcell just cleared him.
Oh, man.
And Waylon Turner, nowhere to go, runs in the back of the 41 car, or 7 car rather. Oh my gosh.
I would like to point out that Waylon Turner came across the radio and explained who the heck just ARCA braked into me. So if you want to call that for radio, sweetheart, that would be great. But I gotta make the mention, you know what, never mind. Seeing a camera angle, you can't really put that on Waylon for getting into Cameron Thompson there, because you never expect him to really come back up the racetrack like that, especially if you're already committed to the corner.
Let's see here, Waylon Turner's perspective.
Cameron Thompson also out of this race. Oh. Heavy impact right there.
But most importantly, out of all of this, you see the 19 car involved. Adam Ball, he's up here behind Cody Eldred. Ahead of Vinny Maestris and Jacob Gladulich. He chose the high side, which that was wrong. He chose wrong, clearly, as Charles Woods late gets into the 3 car. I think Woods was committed down low. I don't think it was going to be much of a possibility for him to turn up high or even go lower and miss that. There were cars everywhere on the racetrack.
Thankfully speaking, though, Adam Ball does not have a meatball flag, so he is still well in contention. However, let's just put this into a little bit more perspective. You have Cameron Thompson out of this race. Zach Lockett's got a black flag right now. Charlie Wood and Waylon Turner are both, realistically speaking, out of this race. They've got meatball flags they need to get fixed. This is 2 more positions that Ryan Patty could therefore take advantage of. Even though he is 4 laps down, he should be able to nab those positions and gain some ground when it comes to Adam Ball, when it comes to Charlie Widener. There's still so much up for grabs right now.
There's Zach Lockett getting by. Just a big crash there in turns 3 and 4 that sets up for a wild end here. Well, rest of stage 2 as everybody comes into the pit lane and gets fuel. This is going to be that fuel stop, it looks like.
Wonder if anyone takes tires here, but Ray Lane, this might put a hindrance on his strategy. I don't know, but then again, it might allow him to save tires and roll through the stage on the set that he has.
I want to give a big shout out to our partners with the channel here at Pit Stop TV. Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, and Cody Williams Design, helping us get to and from the virtual racetrack every single week. Sometimes 2, 3, 4 times a week. Would not be possible without these partners here at Pit Stop TV. So Zach, let's reset. That big crash takes out Adam Ball for the most part. He's still on the racetrack, but I don't know how competitive that 19 car is going to be. Ryan Patty continues to get repairs. You see him work off the pit lane. So this brings it down to Charlie Widener. I think right now he would be pointing into the playoffs. I think that's easy to say. He runs about 11th or 12th.
You're looking at Widener and Ball at the moment. Widener was 9 points out. He's currently P11 as they run, if I'm not mistaken, so that would put him 17 spots up, so that would be +6 to the cut right now. And that would be, hold on, doing a little bit more math. Adam Ball is 16th, Ryan Patty is 28th still, he's going to be 27th. Still 8 points down on Patty, so Widener would be the one realistically in over Adam Ball.
Let's see how stage 2 goes the rest of the way here. An early stage 2 caution going to change things up. Back to the Geico restart zone will go Ray Lane, Brian Smith. They each topped up on fuel. They're good to go to the end. Green flag back out at Las Vegas. You see the field, a shell of what it formerly was. A handful of cars out of this race. Hanover Fist, Charles Woods, Waylon Turner, Cameron Thompson, all now out as a result of that crash. Side by side across the stripe for third, Kyle Purcell, Vincent Loria. Here comes Vinny Meisters into the middle of it.
Wide coming off.
Oh, Finnegan in the wall.
It looks like one other car. I think that's Eldred.
He cut the wheel big time. I don't think he got the wall, but he cut the wheel big time and went straight down the racetrack. As you see these guys single file out now. Ray Lane, Brian Smith, Vincent Loria, then Vinny Meisters, and Cody Neal, your top 5. Then Kyle Purcell, Nathan Finnegan, and whoa, Brian Smith goes way up high. Vincent Loria goes way down low. Could they bring their spat up here to the 41 car?
never know. They could end up taking each other out again like they have previously. Cody Neal, oh, wow. I don't think Brian Smith was too happy about that one. Now he's pushing his teammate past the 41, new leader, Vincent Loria. Cody Neal gets in front, Brian Smith on the inside for second. The outside line keeps prevailing, and Brian Smith can't get there, but he's gonna clear the 41 and put himself in position for third. Finnegan on the inside now.
Ray Lane feeling the competition now for really the first time tonight. He hasn't had to do much battling. Oh, contact between him and the 6.
Oh, Jacob Smith almost got turned around back there by the 70, and they're 3 wide behind. This is just on the outside, or right there, actually.
Charlie Widener. Look at this. Charlie Widener into 7th spot. He could be going for stage points here soon. The top 5 earn stage points. It's 8 points to win the stage, down to 1 to take 5th place. I believe it's 8, then 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is getting dicey now, Andrew. We've got just about 20 laps to go in this stage. You never know what's going to happen.
So Charlie Widener up to 6th. Could he point his way into the Final Four? I've talked about him all season long. He's always been the most consistent and best driver in points without a win. Without a win, all the way through. 33 races now. Still has not gone to victory lane. I like to talk to him because it's just fun to chat with a guy who just keeps continuing to find ways to try to get these race wins. He's always on the cusp. He's just been so consistent, so good this season. Just can't quite close one out. Could he get it done here tonight? Pulls up on Ray Lane. This is for 5th.
So many different factors right now that could pertain to him winning this race tonight, and it looks like he is trying to lock himself in on a win rather than points. Out in front of that 41 with the nose. He's going to try to get clear of Jacob Smith on the back bumper, and now full well in clear of the 41. That is a stage point for Charlie Widener right now, but he's got to try not to lose to Jacob Smith, who's on his back bumper in his coattails, trying to stay with him, and now down to the inside. Going to clear into turns 3 and 4. Look at Brian Smith up the road. He's falling back a little bit. Finnegan's gotten in front of him.
Battle for second starting to spark up. Vincent Loria and Nathan Finnegan. As quickly as I say that, it fizzles out. Jacob Smith here is on tires. The top 4, in fact, are on tires. So this explains a lot of what we're seeing. The top 4 are on tires. That's Cody Neal, Vincent Loria, Nathan Finnegan, and Jacob Smith. Brian Smith is the first car not on tires. He joins Charlie Widener, who is on tires. So Widener could absolutely get Brian Smith here as this run progresses. But he is blinking big time.
This could prove an issue.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Right now he's in the Final Four if he can just stay in this race. Also, Gilbert right behind is on fuel only. Purcell on fuel only. Ray Lane on fuel only. Vinny Meisters on fuel only. Meistus, rather, on fuel only.
Thinking
so
about
really,
strategy calls here.
It's the top 4 plus Widener that took tires. But Widener needs to stay here. He keeps having these blinks.
Yeah, and it looks like other drivers are starting to point that out to him, and this could potentially prove to be an issue.
He's got to stay in this race. He's got to figure out whatever's going on without leaving the race car. I don't know how. He's got to stay here. He's got to stay in this thing.
Other drivers are actually informing him he might need to park that race car due to how bad it is. But if you're Charlie Widener, you got to stay in it, especially since after everything has clicked off, Ryan Patty has moved up into the 24th spot. So he's gaining some points back to be able to try and close in.
Yeah, that crash really helped Ryan Patty in more ways than one. Helped him get damage fixed, helped him take some competition out of the way. That really helped the 30 car having that big crash.
Now, if we're going to sit here and talk about Ryan Patty, though, I do need to mention, I think he's got that wheel somewhat fixed. From the looks of it, well, you know what? Never mind. I was trying to see if he maybe had a little bit more pace, but he does not. As we look on, Charlie Widener, Brian Smith. This is another point here, Andrew.
Well, it's 2 points, really. It's a stage point, and then it would be a point for the finish as well, but you see he blinks out again.
Oh, he's gone for quite a bit here. Uh-oh.
That might be it. Well, he's back in the world. He pulled off big time. He pulled off to make sure he didn't crash the 78. The problem is that puts him in the realm of the 22 car of Gilbert. So he's got to use his tires to get back ahead now, the 22, and he does. So he's in a bubble right now where I think he can race on his own. I think these guys can handle if he blinks every once in a while on his own like this and just stays in the race. And he doesn't have to win this thing. He doesn't have to get stage points right now. He just needs to stay in the race right now. So while I know this is frustrating for the drivers around him, they have to consider where he's at in the playoffs. And if they can, they've got to put up with it because this is too important for him to just pull over and park.
You can't do it to yourself. You got to try to stay in it best you can. Looking around the outside of Brian Smith now.
Oh, Smith shuts the door.
Big cover off right there.
And we are, by the way, into the second half of this race. Lap 80 was halfway, so we're a little ways past that. Teammates from KU Motorsports, Cody Neal and Vincent Loria run 1-2, while this battle happens for 5th. And Charlie Widener is finally clear of it for the 5th spot. He can now run in his own little bubble here between Smith and Smith. Jacob Smith and Brian Smith. Jacob Smith out his windshield, Brian Smith in the rear view, so he can calm down for the time being as Ray Lane gets passed up by Evan Patinko. Patinko's on tires. Lane is not on tires. Teseo is there, but Anthony Teseo's a lap down. So where does Ryan Patty run? 24th spot. You see all that damage? And he's actually about to get lapped by the 95 car. So Ryan Patty now 5 laps down. The 95 goes on by.
This is just being so much more worse for Ryan Patty with trying to hang on to his championship hopes.
But hang on, because then you have Adam Ball, who would love nothing else than the 95 to drop out of this race. I don't think he would want that necessarily, but boy would he take it. Because he'd be able to become the next driver in line to try and point into the round of 4. Going into Homestead, going into Martinsville, going into Phoenix. He's got one win back at Daytona earlier this season. He's got some damage on the nose of that car, so he's battling some damage, some adversity here tonight after being involved in that crash not so long ago. Caution!
Yellow out, turn number 3.
Ryan Patty.
Ryan Patty, oh no.
This might be it.
Looking at the damage report. He's got another meatball flag, Andrew.
Was racing with Vinny Meistus. Vinny went on by. Does he just get loose again? Oh, Patinko came down and hit him. Oh my gosh.
Waiting to hear from race control about if this will be the stage. We got a feel for Ryan Patty.
This shouldn't be the stage, I don't think. This is going to set up for an interesting situation with just a few laps to go in stage 2. But this shouldn't count as the stage as we go on board with Ryan Patty. There goes Vinny Meistus. And coming up behind him will be Evan Patinko, and there goes Kyle Purcell. Patinko gets loose out of the corner, comes down and just side swipes the 30 car, then spins trying to hang on to it. Back up on the racetrack. Oh my gosh, that was lucky for those drivers.
Looks like we're not hearing that this is going to be stage caution.
But we do have some pit stops. Of course, Patty's one of them, but I saw the 4 of Cody Neal into the pit lane. He comes in for service. Kyle Purcell comes in for service. So drivers that don't need stage points, they're going to pit here and set themselves up to be at the front of the field for stage 3. I like that out of Kyle Purcell. He's not in a point your way in position, so he puts himself now at the front of stage 3 by taking this pit stop here. He'll stay out at the end of the stage. I like that move a lot for the 01 car.
Yeah. Ryan Patty still 5 laps down at the end of all this. He's going to end up going more laps down. The strategy calls here are all changing up with what these drivers think is going to be the best course of action as we roll into the end of the stage. You're only going to be out there for just a couple of laps before the stage caution comes out. So do you really decide, do you want to pit now or stay out? And I like seeing these drivers stay out. Jacob Smith, though.
Travis Gilbert, Ray Lane. Are they all going to fake? No. Gilbert and Lane come in. That's going to bring Gladulence. It's going to bring Eric Smith. I'm a little surprised by the call to pit a lap late. They must have been waiting to hear if that was going to be the stage or not. So this is going to be a play now to get track position for the beginning of stage 3. And again, they don't need stage points. See Gladulence waiting.
Evan Patinko given the EOL there for causing the incident. Ryan Patty's back out on the racetrack. You see the drivers coming off the pit lane. And let's talk about this shakeup here under this caution, Andrew. We're going to have another quick yellow at the end of this. So nobody's really going to go a lap down, so that's going to allow Thomas Taylor in the 57 to get a free pass. Then the next driver who's eligible for the free pass after that is going to be Eric Smith. But they are all eligible to potentially take a wave around on the fact of all of these lead lap cars have stayed out on the racetrack. So up next, you got Zach Lockett. He's 2 laps down to the 93 after getting his car fixed from that incident. And then Ryan Patty sits 5 laps down, back in the pit lane once again. If he can keep himself in a position that he doesn't go any further laps down, a couple of quick cautions, that'll help get him laps back, potentially get damage fixed, and hopefully have a chance to claw up a few spots to save his playoff hopes. But the window continues to keep closing for that 30 car, Andrew. And as they roll on to the front stretch, Ryan Patty's still on the pit lane.
He's 5 laps down. Well, he just left his pit box. He's going to try to stay 5 laps down as Vincent Loria will choose the top side of the racetrack. Nathan Finnegan slots in down low in second. Then Jacob Smith, Charlie Widener, Brian Smith. Brian Smith doesn't need those stage points. I'm kind of curious about his decision to stay out. I would have figured he would pit. But these 4 on your screen are on new tires. They're able to fight this one out. I say new tires. Been on the racetrack now for 25 laps. Oh boy. Even in this short run to the end of the stage, Zach, we could have those guys who just pitted fire through the some 9 cars that did not pit. It's only 9 cars. You see Cody Neal there. He took tires. He's going to line up 10th. We could see the field flip right here. And that is disaster for Charlie Widener.
That is. He needs these points.
It's going to be 4 laps.
Patty, if he gets back on the lead lap, Andrew, that's going to hurt Charlie Widener when it comes to getting into these spots, especially since Adam Ball is behind him. And he wants to keep Adam Ball behind him.
And Adam Ball took tires. He's one of the top 5 drivers that took tires. Adam Ball could get into the top 5 here in this stage if he plays his cards right. Let's see what happens. 4 laps to go in stage 2. Green flag back in the air for Vincent Loria.
Big
stack up down low. Finnegan on the loud pedal now. Widener with him. And that's what they needed. They needed a bit of a pocket back to those guys behind them. But it's going to be easy for those guys on tires to fly through the field. Adam Ball on the top side gets the wall. That's not what he needs.
Round Rock Hershey back there. Look at Widener. He's trying to make moves around the outside as well. He's trying to go around Smith and Finnegan to take the second spot away. Finnegan covers him off. Contact!
Widener moves him out of the way. He stays in the throttle. 3 laps to go here. Where is Cody Neal? Where is the first car on tires? It's Vinny Meistus. Cody Neal's sliding back. Cody's got, I think he's laying back to save tires. That's what he's doing.
There's
Vinny Meistus.
Big move to the bottom.
Meistus right behind this gaggle of cars. He could make his way into the top 5 here for the end of the stage. 2 laps to go this time by.
Adam Ball has moved himself into the top 10. Sean Purcell is up to 8th or 9th. Clemens up to 8th. Then you've got Kyle Purcell into what is going to be the 6th spot now. He's trying to claw up, get some stage points, maybe help his championship hopes. He's going to go around Jacob Smith here and take that 4th spot away. So give some points here to Purcell. Might get Finnegan too as we roll around to get the stage caution.
No, one more lap. One more lap.
Finnegan loose.
One more lap to go in stage 2. Vincent
Widener's gotta
Loria
hang
leads. Widener right behind in second. If he can stay second, that's 4 points. Even if he falls to 3rd, that's 2, or 3 rather.
Look at the closing rate though. Look at how close Purcell gets. Widener gets loose. Almost
Puts a
tags the
block.
wall. He's got to defend now.
Throws a block there on Purcell. It doesn't work. Here comes Vices on the inside. Even if he takes 4th, that's still 2 points. So 2 points for Charlie Widener as they work off of turn number 4. That's what it's going to be. Maybe he's going to hang on just barely as Vincent Loria wins stage number 2. There's the caution.
So rolling back the grid a little bit, Loria, Purcell, Mastis, Widener. Widener hung on to that by 3/100ths of a second to keep those 2 points. Still
And Adam Ball.
Gotta finish 5th though.
And Adam Ball made it to 7th.
2 spots short of a stage point.
So close.
However, looking at everything, Kyle Purcell knocks up 2 points. So that
he
could
takes
help
4
his
total
fight.
for the stage.
4. Oh yeah, 4. That's right. So that's going to put him
Still
24 down realistically.
It gets him to where it's numerically possible, but he would need Widener and Ball more or less out of this race.
Okay, let me see if I did my math here correctly before we talk to our stage winner. You've still got, looking at everything at the moment, Patty's 9 laps down now. He is off. Oh!
Patty's out of the race.
Patty's he's been disqualified.
Too many incident points?
More than likely.
Wow.
That is going to hurt huge. Everyone else behind him, depending on how Icon officials decide to take that, he could be thrown to the tail end of the field, which I'm sure some of these drivers will end up trying to protest, but let's look at it from this perspective. You've got, at the moment, on the racetrack, you've got Kyle Purcell in the race lead. So at the moment, as the points run, Kyle Purcell is locked in, Ryan Patty is out. So the next one up would be Nathan Finnegan on the cut line, who is, if I'm not mistaken, about 36 points up on Charlie Widener. So this changes the whole game. This changes the whole perspective if Kyle Purcell were to win this race. Do I expect him to stay there? No. So I'm going to go off and tell you that Kyle Purcell, at the moment, currently sits 23 positions above Ryan Patty. 24 positions above, plus the 4 points that he nabbed. So that puts him on a tie. So realistically speaking, Andrew, you have got these 3 drivers now within striking distance of each other, for all 3 of them potentially taking Ryan Patty's spot.
But I want you to put in the points that Widener would earn, that Ball would earn. They would stay ahead of Purcell right now. Widener by some large margin, as Widener's going to be 10th.
Well, how about we do this, Andrew? How about while you're talking to our stage winner, I'll be doing some math over here.
Sounds good. Let's dial up driver 67. Vincent Loria, stage 2 winner. As Ryan Patty's made it to the care center, we'll talk to him at some point during the stage, during stage 3. But let's bring in Vincent Loria, who wins stage number 2. Strategy has been a lot of fun to watch so far. What got you to the front, though, Vincent?
I just didn't pit there on those tires. Took tires at the caution before, and was, did that so that I could win the stage, or at least compete to win the stage, and then at the end there when the other caution came out, Cody went down and took some tires. I decided to stay out, and those guys behind that took tires on that late caution just didn't have enough time to catch up. So ended up working out well for me. I only got one set left in the bank though, so I'm hoping for a really green end to this race.
And of course, we missed last week at Charlotte. We couldn't talk to you as you went to victory lane, but congratulations making it into the Final Four. How do you look at this Final Four? Homestead, Martinsville, Phoenix. Is there a particular track that you like? Granted, it's going to take the points total from all three races, but is there a track that you like in particular?
Yeah, Phoenix has been really good to me in the past. I've always run really good there. I know the last year's championship race, I led like almost the entire thing, and then had some, unlucky cautions fall near the end. So I ended up, not being able to close that one out. But I like that track. I won at Martinsville earlier this year. A little bit of controversy surrounding that one, but now that it's the Final Four race, I will not be scared to use any of those tactics. And then Homestead's pretty good too, man. I like that one. High speed, pretty wide open. Good mix of tracks here. Go from you got a intermediate, a short track, and then Phoenix. A little hybrid track there, really technical. So that one will definitely test your skills as a driver. But yeah, man, just happy to be in the Final Four. Hoping that my good luck continues.
Well, best of luck here in the rest of Las Vegas, and moving on to the Final Four beginning next week in Miami. Congratulations on the Charlotte win. Congratulations on the Stage 2 win. Maybe we'll be talking to you later.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That's Vincent Loria. We're moving back down to those KU Motorsports teammates and let him get ready here for the beginning of stage number 3. Kyle Purcell, Sean Purcell, a brother front row, going to lead us back to the green flag, and everything resets. It's going to be Cody Neal in third, Ray Lane in fourth, then Travis Gilbert, Vinny Maestas. You've got Adam Ball, Robert Bluen, Vincent Loria, Charlie Widener, your top 10. Green flag on the way in the Geico restart zone. Waiting for it, waiting for it, waiting for it. There it is. Green flag back in the air at Las Vegas. Your top 5 stayed out under that caution. Everybody else came in for fuel and tires. Actually, not everybody took tires. Vinny Maestas, Adam Ball, they both stay on the old set. Everybody else, aside from Robert Bluen, took tires. For the race lead here, Kyle Purcell, Cody Neal. Lap 106 of 160. Driver number 4 looking for the race lead. He's got Ray Lane behind, then Sean Purcell. They fight it out for third. Gilbert in 5th. But here comes Cody Neal on the inside now of turn number 4 in the front stretch. Oh, a couple of cars grab the fence off of turn 2. Here comes Ray Lane. He's got newer tires, but not brand new tires. He's going to race up here, though. Put some pressure on Cody Neal for the race lead. He's going to bring Gilbert into 4th. And Lane paints the bottom lane. Pun not intended, but he's going to go right to the inside now of Cody Neal. So fight for the race lead. Cars 4, 41, and 01. And a shot there from Lane to Neal moves him up the racetrack. I don't think that'll be appreciated by the driver of the 4. They door each other off the corner, and Cody Neal's going to crash. And he's going to nearly take out Brian Smith. He's still spinning. Who's going to hit him? Boom! Josh Clemens, Nathan Finnegan, both smacking the side of the 4 car.
Finnegan getting involved just, oh my goodness, that just changed all my math, Andrew. I was sitting here working on it, and Finnegan getting involved just changed all my math. Finnegan's got to pit for a repair flag. He's done. Clemens is done. Right front disconnected on that 6 car.
I'm not
Oh,
sure
no.
what we're doing here with 50 to go, guys. Slamming into each other, into and off of the corner, and then I don't know what went on here with the 4. Nearly took out Sean Purcell, nearly took out Brian Smith, then spins, releases the brakes. I think he had an idea to get off the racetrack, I think. But you've got to hold the brakes at that point in time.
The spin back right there, I'm surprised he didn't have it more under control.
Me too. And then right here, he rolls onto the apron. If he had held his brakes, I think those two go by. And that is likely going to be a penalty for the 4 car, because you can't release the brakes like that. You've got to stay predictable. And that is going to severely affect one former playoff driver in Joshua Clemens and one current playoff driver in Nathan Finnegan. That turns this race up on its head a little bit.
This just ruined all of my math, Andrew. I had literally just had it down. I was about to come up on the mic and inform the public of everything that I had finally worked on, and now I have to do it all over again.
Here's Finnegan's perspective, slow-mo. There's nowhere for him to go. I'm going to go back and confirm quickly that there was contact into the corner from the 41, though. That's what I want to see. So let's go back a little bit. On board with Ray Lane. And this kind of sets everything off, right? He gets a run to the inside of the 4 car of Cody Neal. Neal gets a push there from the 01. And Ray just throttled up into him. I don't know what we're doing with 50 to go. Throttling into people into the corner. But that's not going to be appreciated by the guys who have been here. I understand you're racing for something, but that's not going to be appreciated. On the flip side of this, I'm not really sure how the 4 car lost it.
I think there is blame to be placed on both sides.
What
of
a
this situation,
shot.
Andrew.
And then Neal's trying to hold down on his door. I think he just, out of reflex.
Seems like a really hard cut. Then,
Boom.
boom.
He must have felt something in the force feedback that prompted him to cut the wheel back right. I'm not sure what else would have done it. But that's going to severely affect this race. There you see the 4 in the pit lane. The 6 is there as well.
Well, Andrew, this is shaking up everything now. Nathan Finnegan is absolutely destroyed.
Well, let's bring in Ryan Padgett to this caution and hear from Ryan as to what happened to end his day. Ryan, we saw each and every step of the way, everything going wrong for you today, but what eventually took you out of this race?
Hey, fellas. It was just a tough situation there. You know, we made a green flag stop and didn't take tires, just fuel only, and obviously that throws off the balance of the car. And you know, further along there, coming out of turn 4, just got a little loose, washed up the track, overcorrected into the wall, and knocked the toe out of the car, and tried to, you know, I think we were going to be okay there. You know, obviously lost a couple laps trying to repair the car, and you know, pitted multiple times trying to get it fixed, and I thought we'd be able to keep running there, maybe 3, 4, 5 laps down, depending on where we ended up. And for some reason, I don't know what happened. You know, I've been on iRacing for a better part of 5 years here, and even though we got all the required done, we got the tires changed, tire wear was okay, we got a DQ for not serving a black, which never popped up. So mystery to me, but something I can't, you know, you know, the admins can't clear it here with the league. It's just a kind of one of those iRacing mysteries, and we got DQ'd for the night. So we're parked and we're just kind of watching and seeing what happens.
And Ryan, if I could just poke in real quick before we send back green.
Yes, sir.
I have been doing a little bit of math for the viewers at home to try and see if we can figure this point situation out. Are you, in regards to your disqualification, is that going to send you all the way to the back for the results, or is that going to let you keep the spot that you're at currently?
Well, that's a really good question. I believe that it puts me to wherever I exited the race at, but you know, this has never happened to me before, so I hope it's not last place on the track. So Well, I guess we'll have to see. You know, I don't want to wish ill will on anyone. Charlie Widener's been fantastic all year, so if I have to miss, I think he's a great car to make it to the Final Four. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I believe what it does in ATVO at least, and I think in iRacing scoring, is it'll keep him there. It'll keep you there, Ryan, until the end of the race, and then I think that's when the DEQ officially takes effect. We'll wait and see. Best of luck regardless.
Yeah, I appreciate you, and if you guys want me to hang around, I'm happy to offer a little commentary where I can.
Might dial you back up. Who knows? Let's go, though, for the rest of stage number 3 here. We'll talk more about Ryan's situation in just a moment. Let's take a focus here for the restart. Ray Lane, Kyle Purcell, green flag, back in the air. And Purcell with a very slow restart. Travis Gilbert, Brian Smith, both down low.
Lots of cars tagging the wall back there, but it looks like we're going to get squared away as we roll into turn number 3, Andrew. Look at Purcell rolling that top line. Brian Smith right underneath him.
And you might notice Vincent Loria is not in this group up here. Why? Because he pitted under that caution. He did not take tires. He took fuel only, so he topped up to go a little bit deeper in this stage maybe. As there's the 78 down to the inside of the 22. It does not stick. Teammates out front. Ray Lane, Travis Gilbert.
Side of the 01, Brian Smith now falls in line between the Purcell brothers. It's a Purcell sandwich with Smith in the middle. Well, in reality, it's a little bit of a reflecting pattern here. Purcell, Smith, Purcell, Smith. These drivers are just trying to figure out their point situation now. As the race for the lead heats up, 22 on the outside. Gilbert going for the race lead. Kyle Purcell knows that he's got a win on the horizon that could potentially put him locked into this Final Four, and would realistically put Nathan Finnegan as the next car in line. Oh boy.
Contact into the corner. Did Purcell get a shot there from the 78? Is that what happened?
He might have.
Hard to say. I didn't quite see it. I was looking at timing and scoring, then looked back as that happened. Purcell down to the inside of Lane. Lane shuts the door. And watch the 78 off the corner. He's going to have a run. Pulls up to the back end of the 41 car. Going to pull low and send it down to the inside of turn number 3.
Clear of Kyle Purcell. That's going to allow him to take advantage. Purcell to racetrack, fitting.
The 01 is going to get hit hard. Was that? I think that was Kevin Gunther.
Jacob Smith.
Oh, wow. You're right. So Purcell now out of this potentially. These playoff drivers.
Now with the lead ball flag as well. Kyle Purcell has damage, but still in this race.
These playoff drivers are about tired of this place. See, just got tight, swept up the racetrack into the 41. Gunther gets a piece of the 21 as the 21 has all that damage to the left front of the car. Jacob Smith likely out of this race. At least out of contention for the win.
Definitely out of the race.
He can stay in it, just going to be laps down. Purcell just tried to stay in the gas and tightened up big time off the corner. Boom.
So, now that we've got so many different shakeups, so many different playoff drivers, let me see if I can interject here with a little bit of math. So, the way I had it nailed down was writing Ryan Patty out completely when it came to the incidents now. So, with Kyle Purcell's incident, he was 15 to the cut line. Now, I don't even know where to place him at the moment. Big, heavy impact on that left side. There's Gunther, like you were talking about. He got a little piece of it. Gunther, at the moment, not in a position that he's directly going to be affected. It looks like the car is clean, but he did get a small piece of it.
Here's Gunther's onboard. Just zigged when he should have zagged. I mean, that's happened so much tonight. I think the car is going to be okay. I think that damage that simulated for a moment is simulated back away. Now, here we go. More pit stops for Vincent Loria and company. taking fuel only, trying to save that set of tires and get him a little bit later into this race. He's nearly got the fuel now to go to the end. Not quite, but nearly. So he can stretch these tires out.
So with Loria locked in, everything kind of takes a little bit of a back step when it comes to the point situation. So the way things are shaking up at the moment, you've got, with Finnegan still on the pit lane, Andrew, that puts everything into a shakeup. He's currently sitting P21. So you've got Kyle Purcell 2 spots up on him. You've got, you've got Widener, who is 5 spots up on him. And if we're writing Ryan Patty out, Widener realistically, before positions come into play, was 25 points down from Finnegan. Now he's going to be 20 points down realistically with Patty out. So that would put Widener in, considering everyone else is pretty much behind him other than Adam Ball, who is 18 points out before points. That was on to Ryan Patty. So this would put Widener and Ball in contention at the moment when it comes to fighting for that last spot. Put Finnegan over Patty. And then if you want to go off of Patty being on the cut line and you want to talk about Ball and Widener, they are currently separated by 11 points. Take position into account. That throws them separated by 7 minus 11, 4 points. 4 points to the cut line, if you want to call it right now.
So short version, who's third?
Finnegan. Still.
By how many points to the cut?
20 points, give or take a couple points.
And who's fourth?
Widener by 4 points.
Which puts Ball fifth, Purcell now
And
sixth.
Patty would be the one.
Patty's in there somewhere.
Somewhere. I'm taking into account that Patty is going to get disqualified and thrown to the end of the pack, which would realistically take him completely out of the mix. Therefore, I have to place the cut line as Finnegan and, well, place the cut line as Widener, and Finnegan's still third, up by 20, Widener up by 4. Move Ball and Purcell both up 1 spot, 5th and 6th, or 6th and 7th, and move Patty 8th out of all of these 8 drivers.
Here we go. Restart on the way. 40 becomes 39 laps to go. Vinny Meisels out front, then Anthony DeSeo and Vincent Loria. DeSeo goes nowhere on the restart. Green flag back in the air. Vincent Loria to the race lead, but here comes tires. That's Brian Smith on a fresh set of tires.
Side by side for the race lead. These two have had run-ins so often throughout the season. Looks like they're going to play nice for the time being. Smith trying to take the lead away. Loria wants to hang on to it, get himself an edge going into the next round. All is well and good, and I should mention Finnegan's back on the racetrack as Loria is trying his hardest to clear that 78.
Loria still on old tires, making them work. Brian Smith on new tires. These guys are just about good enough to go to the end. I'm surprised Smith didn't take the lead straight away from the 67 car.
Surprising as well, considering the difference in tires.
Unless Loria snuck in a stop for tires somewhere, because he just pulled away into turn 1. I have to believe he snuck in a stop for tires somewhere that we didn't catch.
This also is contingent on the race going green, really, as Bluen gets into the wall right behind Patinko. You saw it at a camera shot right there. it's got to be contingent on the fact that the rest of this race goes green, Andrew. We've had caution after caution in stage 3 now, so field strategy out the window at the moment because everyone still needs just one more stop to make it to the end of this race.
Side by side, Adam Ball, Anthony DeSeo. Adam Ball moving forward.
Adam Ball needs to move forward, Andrew.
Yes, he does. He would have the advantage over Charlie Widener right now, wouldn't he? We're close to it.
More math.
Oh, man. We'll save the math for now. We'll let this race play out a little bit. As there's 3 wide here with Evan Patinko, Robert Bluen, and Jacob Gladulich. Gladulich still in this for the championship.
Hey, you want to talk about math? How about we just talk about straight up wins? Gladulich needs the win to lock himself in. He was 63 points down coming into this. Now he's up into 10th spot. He's trying to clear around Evan Patinko, who has moved himself into the top 10. Say that a little too soon, because now you've got Gilbert and Gunther pulling themselves back into the mix. Gladulich has a shot. He could play the strategy game and work himself into this. Now he's 3 wide in the middle, trying to hang on to that 9th spot. He's got to try to point himself further forward. If he can win this race, that'd be, well, choose Cone for the championship, anybody?
Gilbert came in and topped up on fuel. He should have 1 set of tires left. Loria and Smith stay on the racetrack, leading this race. Smith took tires on that last caution. I'm surprised he's not ahead of the 67 car just by that. Widener sits back here. He's been saving a set of tires as well. Widener runs in the 12th spot. There's Ray Lane right behind him. So Widener lost all that drive position that he had earlier because he was in the top 5. Must have pitted at the wrong time. Got himself cycled back into the midfield. Now with nearly 30 to go, runs outside of the top 10. He really needs to pass every single one of these cars ahead of him.
Put Ball plus 2 to the cut right now. No. Plus excuse me. Ball is 5th. Widener's 12th. 7. 4 plus 3 to the cut right now. Wait. Widener's over Ball. Ball behind. Ball is
He's
ahead.
got about 7.
Yeah, plus 7 to the cut right now. No.
No. Yeah,
If
no.
Widener is in front of Ball,
So
that
about
puts
3.
back to, yeah, because Ball would be minus 4 to Widener's plus 4. So 4 spots would get it to tiebreaker.
They
and
actually
3 extra spots, 7 down, put it to 3 up. Oh my God.
We're showing our math is not working, but they might be split apart by like 1 point right now. I think Widener's to the good. It's so close. As Widener blinks out, we were on Widener. He just blinked out of existence. There he is, back again. He was ahead of Teseo. He had an extra point, and he lost it. But he's down to 11th. So, all right, here, let's explain my logic here of math, right? They come into tonight 9 points apart, Widener and Ball. Widener got 4 points. So that extends it to 13. So that means Ball needs to clear Widener by 14 spots. Right now, he's not doing that. He's in 5th, Widener's 12th. So it's actually, it's a 7-point gain on a 13-point spread. Right? 7 on a, yeah, so it's 6 points right now, the difference between the 95 and the 19. Widener's got it for now. Because he got the 4 points in the stage. Otherwise, it would be a 3-point difference. Does that make sense?
No.
Oh, man. Let's leave the match to the professionals. Let's go back up here inside of 30 to go and cover the top 2. Vincent Loria, Brian Smith. Vinny Meistus runs 3rd. Sean Purcell 4th. Adam Ball 5th. And Adam Ball could get this spot away from Sean Purcell. He's in a good spot right here.
I got the calculator pulled out right now, Andrew. I'm trying to figure things out as Adam Ball is racing for position. It's a nightmare. We've been talking all about these points right now. We've been talking all about these championship fights. How about we talk about the fact we've got 25 laps to go at the line?
Yeah.
This is where things start to heat up.
And here goes Brian
goes
Smith.
to the lead.
Right to the inside of Vincent Lauria, who's going to try and hang on to it on the outside lane. We believe Smith has better tires, and he will prevail on the inside line. For now, that was close across the stripe. Oh my gosh, these two. Oh, Lauria sideways, drifting through 1 and 2, just hangs on to the race car. Smith pulls away. Meistis loses a spot in the background. Meistis
Someone
down to
had an
4th.
incident back there in turn number 2. Heard someone hit the wall.
Everybody continues on okay. Adam Ball now to 4th spot. He's going to make his best case for the Final Four tonight here at Las Vegas.
The way this all shakes up is just crazy to think about.
Jumps out of the gas there for Sean Purcell. That was crazy. Down to the inside now of 3 and 4. He's going for 3rd spot. Nearly had it there into the corner, but Purcell fights back on the outside lane.
You've got to think about what's going through Adam Ball's head as he tries to fight his way up there at the moment. Keep in mind, Andrew, these guys have pit stops left. If you're close enough, you could try to see if you can figure out a way to point yourself to the lead by using pit stop strategy. It's all over the place.
They might have stops left to go. They are oh so close. They've restarted with about 39 to go. A fuel run is about 37 to 40.
Oh boy. I don't know where to go here, Andrew. I don't know how to really place the math when it comes to Ball and Widener. I mean, look at the Tinker glide split. He's up to 8. He's trying to find a way to get up there and win this race. He's the only one that's in a must-win. Everyone else could point their way in. Widener's dropped back even further as well. So this is placing everything on what ifs and what could have been and must-haves for these guys on really their championship.
Charlie Widener, simply put, needs to earn some points here. He needs to move forward. I don't know how he's going to do it. He runs 13th, but he needs to move forward as these two start to duke it out for the race win. Back in the spring, back in March, it was Brian Smith who went to victory lane here. That was his first of 13 wins now this season. Vincent Lauria made it.
With 20 to go.
And Vincent Lauria made it win number 8 last week at Charlotte.
You gotta think of these two as the championship favorites going into the last round of the championship. 3 races to decide who's going to win the Icon Cup Series championship, and the points will reset tonight. Brian Smith will be the top seed as they roll. So, well, realistically speaking, Andrew, this could be a big help to his championship hunt.
I love the way this final round breaks down. Intermediates have been Brian Smith's bread and butter. Martinsville was won by Vincent Lauria back in the spring. Phoenix was won back in the spring. Oh, Lauria's going to spin! Nearly! Hangs on to it. He's going to lose so much time, though, and fall out of this fight for the race win. All the way back to Adam Ball. He nearly throws the block on the 19. Ball's going to go by, and Ball now is fighting for 2nd place.
Now he's got a shot looking at Brian Smith as the next car up the road as the leader. Adam Ball could potentially win this race, point himself into the championship 4, knock Charlie Widener out, knock Nathan Finnegan out. No, not Ryan Patty out. Oh my goodness, I'm still trying to do math here. Finnegan's still in. He's on the racetrack right now. Finnegan's actually up to the 21st spot.
Well, hey, Adam Ball just officially took 2nd. That's a big pass to make.
Oh, goodness me.
If something happens to our race leader, Adam Ball is next in line to take the win. But back to my point that I was trying to make when Vincent Lauria nearly had his spin. Brian Smith has been dominant on the intermediates. That's Miami. Vincent Loria won Martinsville in the spring. That's race 2. Nathan Finnegan won Phoenix in the spring. That's race 3. It's a 3-race round of 4. 3 different drivers who will be in the Final 4 have gone to victory lane on that type of racetrack or that exact racetrack earlier this season and have been dominant. Oh, and Gilbert and the 04 Purcell. That's going to cause a crash. Hang on. Purcell at the racetrack. Gilbert hangs on to the race car for now. Ray Lane got a piece of it, and they're still green. What is going on?
I don't know at this point. My calculator is hurting.
Purcell's got problems. He's up the wall.
Adam Ball is quickly closing on Brian Smith as well. I wonder if there's problems further up the racetrack.
Brian Smith a little bit free there on the bottom of 1 and 2. Why is Adam Ball closing in? He's saving fuel. He's cutting the motor.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Don't make me do more math. That's going to put Adam Ball. If Adam Ball takes the lead, that puts Nathan Finnegan on the cut line. That puts Charlie Widener out by about, realistically, 20 points, and he's 7 points up, so give it about 13 points. So Charlie Widener, if Adam Ball wins this race, that puts Charlie Widener into the must-win. Because he will not gain enough points from finishing second to be in front of Nathan Finnegan.
And if Ball wins, Widener can't win.
Exactly.
A lot of pit stops happening. Purcell is in. Bluin is in. Teseo is also in. Brian Smith running low and slow. Saving fuel all of a sudden. Didn't budget his fuel right. Problem is, Adam Ball and Vincent Loria pitted on the same lap as Brian Smith. Oh
well,
boy.
Andrew, we're floating from points math to pit stop math.
This is about to be the craziest race of the season, if it hasn't already been. And it was a crazy race back in March as well.
Oh, Lord. We've got 11 laps to go as we cross the start-finish line. 7/10 separated for Adam Ball. Vincent Loria is just a little bit further back. Gunther's in 4th. Lane's in 5th. Gladjulich is up to 7th. Widener's up to 8th now. So now we're sitting in a position where Widener is trying to claw back his points gap.
And he would have enough right now. Ball would have to win this race at this point in time. There we go. Oh boy. Can't figure out the math. Can't figure out how to talk. Gladjulich just dropped a spot.
Widener would still be 3 points out.
There's no way. He had 9 points coming in and got stage points, and Adam Ball didn't. There's no way.
Remember what I talked about. I pulled Patty out of the cut because he's going to get disqualified. So that would put Widener 4 points up on Ball.
But Widener had 9 points on Adam Ball coming into tonight.
Right, but you're forgetting stage points.
Widener earned 4 and Ball did not. That's a 13-point gap.
Oh, I was thinking of Kyle Purcell.
I'm sorry, he earned 2. Okay, you're right. You're right. So Widener still earned 2 and Ball didn't, so that still makes it a larger gap. So that's 11.
Okay, so that would put Widener in. That would put Ball out, so Ball would have to win the race. Now 3/10 in.
Yeah.
To Brian Smith's lead. Loria's clawed it back as well. He's 4/10 away from Adam Ball. So now Adam Ball is fighting for the fact of him winning this race and putting himself in.
Yeah.
That would put Widener out.
And Loria just made another mistake.
Got a problem.
Just made another mistake off of turn 2. Smith is continuing to save fuel. Ball continues to pull in and close in. He's going to go to the inside here. Does Adam Ball realize the fuel situation? Has he been saving? Doesn't sound like it. So as long as Charlie Widener top 10s, I think we finally got it figured out. As long as Charlie Widener top 10s, that puts Adam Ball in a must-win. Oh, these guys are making it stressful for us. Stressful. 7 laps to go. And I could only imagine the stress for the drivers. And I think Smith has turned up the wick.
He might have.
He let Ball catch up, ensured he has enough fuel, and he might have just been saving to burn the gap up, Zach, but make sure he's got enough for green-white checkered so that he can stay out.
Just might. He's got 6 laps to go now. Look at how loose he
Bobbles
is on the
inside. Adam Ball rolls atop. Here he comes. How desperate is Adam Ball going to get?
This is his championship on the line here. Adam Ball has been so competitive to keep himself in on the super speedways. Those have been the things that have really kept him rolling through these playoffs. As we've got 5 laps to go.
How aggressive does this 19 car get? Oh, and here comes Vinny Meises on new tires to just spice things up.
Meises now forcing Brian Smith to run top. He tries to get that car back into the bottom. That's going to cut off his run. That's going to allow Adam Ball to close in a little bit more on the top side. There's Jacob Smith potentially about to go a lap down again. And this throws everything into the wind. 4 laps to go. The question is, can Brian Smith hang on? The other question, do they have enough fuel to make it to the end? Vincent Loria has dropped way back from this lead. He's 2 seconds back now. Adam Ball makes a mistake. Oh, this is really heating up, Andrew. I'm on the edge of my seat right now, and I can't go any further forward because my desk is not that far away from my face already.
Ball needs to win the race. It's down to these 2. That was 4 laps to go. This is 3. 3 laps to go in Las Vegas. He's got to roll the dice. He's got to do something.
You got to look at it from this perspective, Andrew. The dice have already been rolled. We're just waiting to see where they land. Is Adam Ball going to bring home a jackpot, or is he going to roll some snake eyes?
He's looking for all 3 7s here. Rolls the top side.
2 laps to go at the line.
He's going to have a run.
Big run right here on Brian Smith.
Does Brian Smith move over for him? And change up? I think Ryan Patty's a stronger competitor.
Ryan Patty's out.
Even Charlie Widener's a stronger competitor. You're right? You're right. But even I think Charlie Widener's a stronger competitor. Adam Ball is a wild card.
Well, Ball lost a lot of ground right there out of turn number 2, and he's losing even further ground.
He's pitting.
I think. Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, no. He didn't have enough white flag in the air presented by Whiplash Simcams. And because Adam Ball pits, it's all Brian Smith. Gilbert into second. Lane up. Gladulich is into position. So if any of these guys run out of fuel, Gladulich might be able to take home a win and lock himself in. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Brian Smith leads by a solid margin. Even Loria had to pit. So now everything's a shakeup. And Brian Smith is going to send her home.
Win number 14, ring the bell. Brian Smith going to victory lane at Las Vegas the 2nd time this season. Gilbert goes 2nd, Lane goes 3rd, then Gladulich, Gunther, your top 5.
I think Bluin just got involved in a wreck. He's coming over the radio about something going on in the last lap. There's Ball coming out of the pit lane to go and get himself to the checkered flag.
And Charlie Widener, I believe, is going to make the final 4. Here's the replay on the Robert Bluin incident, if there is one. He's on his own. Here's Kyle Purcell up ahead. Bluin goes low, Purcell up top. Purcell gets loose and comes down into the 99. Ooh. Big hit, and wow, up and in the air for the 99 car.
Big impacts by the 99.
Coming to the checkers as well. Brian Smith parks it here on the front stretch. and will go to victory lane. Has just enough fuel to cover them all up here this evening. Brian Smith to victory lane, and that makes the math a little bit easier. Charlie Widener should be in the final four. Brian Smith gonna burn it down with whatever fuel he's got left. And that might have been it. Well, let's go back and take a look at our unofficial race results. It's a top three of the three of the fastest cars this evening, I'll say that much. But not a top three we were expecting. Brian Smith out ahead with the win by 1.5 seconds over Travis Gilbert, who had enough gas. Ray Lane there in third. Jacob Gladulich nearly saved enough and nearly put himself in position to win this race. What a close call. 4.8 seconds away from the final four for Jacob Gladulich. Kevin Gunther there in fifth. Charlie Widener should advance. He runs sixth this evening. Evan Patinko, Brock Hersey, Cody Eldred, Vinny Meistus, all on fuel strategy, take top tens. And then, Zach, things get interesting.
That they do. Adam Ball, Vincent Loria, Kyle Purcell, all drivers in the playoffs. Adam Ball and Purcell needed to point themselves in. It's not going to end up happening tonight. Blue and Teseo, Eric Smith, Thomas Taylor, Zach Lockett, Sean Purcell, and Jacob Smith. They're going to round out your top 20 positions. We still got so many other cars and so many other drivers that got really into certain situations that they did not want to be in tonight.
Just crazy scenes all around this evening. You see there 11th through 20th. 21st through 30th, Nathan Finnegan down here. He should hang on to advance, but made it close. Ryan Patty, it looks like it's not going to throw him out completely, Zach, but 25th should still be enough for him to lose his place in the final four. It just makes it a little bit closer.
It does. It makes it all the more closer. Hopefully we can get a points update before we go off the air tonight, because I would like to see if my math was right, and I would like to see how everything shakes up at the end of this.
Again, of course, everything is unofficial in regards to the playoffs and who advances. We're going off of our best guess. Not best guess, our best math, I'll say. The final four should, based on our math, be Vincent Loria, Brian Smith, Nathan Finnegan, and Charlie Widener. One of those drivers is winless and still looking for that win. Boy, wouldn't it be something if it comes in the final four races. Let's move on, though, to our winner interview with Brian Smith this evening. A checkered flag for him, sweeping the Las Vegas races. I didn't know what the heck was going to happen here, Brian. Every twist and turn along the way, but you simply say no to all of them. You still end up in victory lane this evening. How did you hold on?
Dude, I don't even know. I really knew we were going to be tight on fuel, but I was pretty much at the mindset of there's no way I was making it that whole stage. I think it was like a 40-lap run or whatever it was, but we were like 3 laps short from the get-go, and 67 was pushing hard, so I'm like, yeah, I better push with him, because the last thing I want is a late race restart, and he's got the track position on me to get off pit road first. So I was going to push as hard as he was going to push, but it was in the back of my mind after a few laps into that run. I was like, I better start lifting a little early. But then again, I got aggressive and I saw a chance to get the lead, and I took it. And then I don't know what happened to 67. I saw him smoke the wall. But then Adam Ball was behind me, and I know a few guys rolled off and hit pit road right before that green on that last stage, or on that last run there. And it was I didn't know if he was one of those guys that was going to do that, or that did that or not. But I ran out of fuel at the line. I don't know what the broadcast showed, but that was definitely one of the craziest finishes to a race I've partaken in.
Were you concerned at all about Adam there tailing you those last 10 laps?
Yes, I was. he was fast. I was clutching it probably the last 25 laps to that run. And I think when the 67 slipped up, I think I had about a 2 second, maybe a little more than 2 seconds back to Adam. And I was just kind of monitoring that, so I went into a really hard save mode. And I knew he was going to catch me, but I had to do what I had to do to make it to the end. like I said, I didn't know if he was someone that topped off before we went green there or not. But crazy, absolutely crazy. I'm kind of at a loss for words right here.
Well, that's win 14 for you, and you officially move on to the round of 4. Is there a track that you like the best out of these last 3 races?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've shown the dominance at the 1.5 miles, so Homestead's always been one of my better tracks. I'm feeling pretty confident about that. Martinsville might as well be, Talladega, because anything can happen there in the blink of an eye. You could be leading the thing and then spun out on the last restart and finish 20th. So hopefully, I'll just take it one race at a time and hopefully come out of Homestead with a good finish and maybe rely on some of those points and just play it conservative at Martinsville and obviously try and win it at Phoenix. So, yeah, it'll be fun. Glad to be a part of it.
Good to talk to you, Brian. Congratulations. Win 14 now on the season. We'll watch for you in this round of 4.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Great job, guys.
Second place this evening, Zach, goes to Travis Gilbert. The 22 was first on Sunday and then second on Sunday. I don't know how that works. Do the math yourself, but Travis Gilbert comes home in that second spot.
Yeah, Travis Gilbert with a great run for the part-timer. You led some laps today. You definitely got into your fair share of incidents towards the end of the race. Kind of walk us through how that whole maybe last 10 to 15 laps went. You got involved in quite a few different scenarios.
Yeah, Sean, he chose to run my door in my blind spot there coming through the tri-oval as I was cutting the apron. Hey, there's nothing that says you can't do that, but also you might want to be a little smarter, and you're in my blind spot and I'm coming up. Puss got to make the corner, so you want to jeopardize yourself. You're not gonna, in that position, you're not gonna hold me back. I'm the faster racer, got the faster car, so I'm not sure why he jeopardized all of us. To me, it was an idiotic move. He paid the price for it. I still finished second. When he hears this interview, maybe he'll go back and think about it, because a lot of people, they think one thing in the moment, then you go back and you look at it. To me, I don't race people like he decided to race. I'm going to give you room so we can race off into the corner. If I feel like I'm faster than you, I can dump air on your right rear and come off of 2 and drag race you, but whatever. That's what happens when you decide to be a dumbass and you want to race people and not be smart about it in circumstances.
Some strong words from our second place finisher. You definitely still had quite a good run tonight, regardless of any of the incidents that happened on the racetrack tonight. I do have to ask, do you think any of the tire strategies had anything to play into how your race went forward tonight, or maybe do you think any of the fuel strategy moving forward as well?
Man, I missed everything. Somehow I finished second. I feel like the only reason why I finished second is because today is my grandpa Gene Gilbert's birthday and my friend Chauncey Friend's birthday, so they share this in common, and I feel like that's the only reason why I came home second, because everything that could go wrong went wrong. I went down pits, went to go take tires, but because I chose to, during the green flag during stage 1, I unchecked everything, forgot to recheck that box, go over and check that panel, so there's many times. Then there at the end, I was like, you know what? There's a good chance that this could go to, the checkers. And if Sean and I don't get into that, and I go back to what felt like 20th there, even though we were running for I think 4th, but it was 9th, 10th or whatever. I feel like I would have been able to beat Brian, because I would have lost all that gap and I would have been able to clear him by 4 seconds over the run. Because I had plenty of fuel, as you could tell. I didn't run out, but that situation with Sean, I don't know. Thank God for all of our driving skills in that situation. We didn't bring out a caution. So thank God for Bet the Track. And I think it was just the motivation of having some friends from above and some on the ground. And that was about what drove me forward, because I missed all the strategies, man, except for the end there, to be 100 about it.
Well, you still brought it home second, so even after all is said and done, I'm sure you can't complain on the finish and the result that you have tonight. So congratulations again. And hopefully you're able to put some strong runs together in another race for us. Congratulations.
Yeah, you won't see me for the end of the year, because they say that you can run 8 races, but in the rule book it says you can only run 3 before you run for Rookie of the Year, and I plan on running for the Rookie of the Year next year. So don't want to don't want to jeopardize that if that is the case. I don't know. We heard two different things. So I think this might be the last time you see me. So, you know, of course, I want to race everybody clean, and I know the playoffs. I don't want playoff drivers to interfere with my races. I do try to run people as clean as possible. So I'm fair. I'm aggressive, fast. I get it, but I will race you clean and expect the same in return. And I tend to think that I'm a little smarter than most people and don't put my car in dumb situations.
We can definitely understand it from that perspective, but once again, congratulations on your second place finish, and well, we look forward to seeing you next season then.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you guys over at Pits.tv. You guys put on a great broadcast, and you know, I want to say hi and thanks to all my friends. Like I said, my grandpa, happy birthday above. My brother Walt, he's on his way back to Oklahoma. My mom, you know, everybody, Ray Lane, Tay McDonald won our championship in our group for another league. So, man, thank you guys. Looking forward to coming back and watching the broadcast because you guys do such a great job as a duel. I think the best broadcasts are when you got a 1-2 punch. So you guys do a great job.
Absolutely. Well, thank you once again. I'm sure Andrew enjoys those kind words, and
Appreciate it.
I think we got a third place finisher waiting to talk to us. So thank you once again for your second place finish, and congratulations.
All right, appreciate you. Thank you, Zach and Andrew.
And that is Travis Gilbert in the 22 car, finishing second on the night. And I do want to actually take a little sidestep here and do apologize for the language that he used in some of his interview. I know he's probably a little bit passionate, Andrew, and I can't really blame him for the race he ran tonight. But again, do have to apologize for that little bit of language. But we got Ray Lane waiting for us in that third spot.
Yeah, third place, and I'll admit I was a little bit critical of what happened down there in turns 3 and 4, but it was a pivotal part of this race, Ray, and I want to hear your perspective, your involvement there, and what happened between you and Cody Neal, because I feel like that was what kind of snowballed you ending up not winning this race.
Yeah, it did, but, you know, it's a racing deal. I race in real life, so my intent is to get to his left rear. Now, me going back and watching the replay and watching him turn left to come down and hit me, that's a bit different there. So he should be going up next to the wall to run it out to keep his momentum up, but he ain't. So, I mean, that's a racing deal. I mean, I race in real life. I've won thousands of dollars in racing go-karts, so I race cars, so I don't... They can say what they want, but I know I didn't turn right on him, so my intent was to get to his left rear, and if you don't get to somebody's left rear, I mean, I'm a sitting duck down there on the bottom with two people on my high side. If I get to his left rear, he's a sitting duck because he's getting stalled out.
Fair enough. Want to make sure I got your perspective. I was critical, admittedly, but everybody's got an opinion, and it all works out in the end. You come home third place tonight, which it sounds like this might be some of your guys' last race of the season, but if you're able to continue on, is there a track on the schedule that you feel like you can repeat this or even do a couple of spots better?
Yeah, if me and Travis is in the race at Phoenix, we'll probably win that one. So we're really good there, so...
So Phoenix on the mind of Car 41 then. Ray, it's good to talk to you at the end of things. Clear some stuff up and hear your opinion, your side of things. We appreciate that. Congratulations on P3, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Oh, I'll try to be back if they allow me back. They try to say something in the race, but I mean, it is what it is, but I'm just here to race. I mean, on the racetrack, you ain't out there to make friends, so... I'm there for one thing and one thing only, and that's to win.
Ray Lane took a big swing tonight at things, was very, very fast. Congratulations on the P3, Ray. And quite frankly, Zach, if he's able to come back in 2025, he's a surefire competitor for the championship.
That he might be. Definitely showed a lot of pace tonight. Led a considerable amount of laps, almost a third of the race, Andrew. So great to see that he was able to bring home a third place finish.
Well, let's try to break this down. Okay, let's hang on. Let's bring out the calculator a little bit. Let's bring out the drawing board, literally. Give me one moment. Here we go. So we'll cross out Ryan Patty with the DQ. If I can ever... There we go. Cross his name out, unfortunately. We'll cross out Gladulich since he did not win. We'll cross out Purcell since he did not win. So it comes down, realistically, to
Adam Ball,
Charlie Widener, and Adam Ball.
Nathan Finnegan.
Which between these guys, Finnegan with 36 points back to Widener should be A-okay in, right? He should be all good. We know Smith is all good with the win. and we know Lori is all good with the win. So it's down to 9 points between these two here. It was 11 after stage 2. And Widener top 10. So I don't think I have to draw it out. But Adam Ball did not make up 11 points on Charlie Widener. So Charlie Widener should, by every account, make the final 4 with Nathan Finnegan, Brian Smith, and Vincent Loria. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, so let me see if I can walk you through the math that I did when it came to the points. So, it's not shown on the total here. Obviously, you can see it for the drivers who are out of the playoffs, so you can see most of their total point situations. But coming into this race, Nathan Finnegan had 4,109 points. Contrary to Charlie Widener, who had, if I recollect my situation correctly, Charlie Widener had 4,082 points. So when I subtracted 4,109 from, well, I subtracted 4,082 from 4,109, and I got 27, which kind of makes me think that maybe Ryan Patty might have done a little bit of math that was a little off. I'm not judging either way. I'm sure he did his math correctly. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I subtracted that total and I got 27. So then I subtracted another 4 for the points that Adam Ball got. Wait. I did math wrong. I added Adam Ball's stage points to Charlie Widener to get that total. So I have been feeding pretty much the wrong information the entire time. That's on me. So your math is probably better than mine at this point, Andrew.
Well, I think there you go. We'll call it there. We'll call it a day and find out when we unload in Miami exactly what the situation is. Oh my gosh, there's so much math. These guys made it difficult on us this evening, but if you look at the schedule and what's upcoming for us at Pits.tv, next up, we go to Miami to kick off this round of 4, 160 laps there as well, then 300 at Martinsville and 200 at Phoenix to cap things off. Looking at what's upcoming for us, you see the SWM Series, SimRap Market Series, is back in action this Wednesday at Circuit of the Americas. It's round number 3 for them in their brand new season of 18 races. Then Sunday, it's back out to Homestead Miami Speedway. Actually, I say back out to Homestead. We're out to Miami for the first time all season long. It's the one date for Homestead Miami Speedway on the schedule. Going to be a lot of fun next week, October 27th. Then Wednesday, it's out to, the following Wednesday, October the 30th, right before Halloween, it's out to Auto Club Speedway with the Jack-O-Lantern 200 with Regal Promotions, and that as well will be a lot of fun, Zach. All of this can be caught on Pit.tv's social media.
Absolutely. So many different social medias to watch and check out all of the great action we have here at Pits.tv, www.pits.tv.com, facebook.com/pits.tv, instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, youtube.com/pits.tv1, and x.com/pits.tv_. I'm very much looking forward, Andrew, to that Wednesday race on October 30th for the Jack-O-Lantern 200. I got a couple of buddies from the 10 Old Parent Racing group that we brought into the BRB Butt Kicker Cup Series. They're going to be running in that. You never know. Maybe I'll try to see if I can hop into another Regal Promotions event. I had a lot of fun in the last one, and I'm super, super excited for all the great stuff coming up here at Pit.tv.
It's going to be a lot of fun. That'll do it for us this evening. Big thank you to our partners with Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, and Cody Williams Design, all helping us get to and from the virtual racetrack each and every week, sometimes multiple times a week. Thanks for watching this evening, and remember, even if we get critical of something that happens on the racetrack, we still love you guys. It was a crazy night here in Las Vegas, a crazy, crazy day and night, really. And we just love every part of this Icon Cup Series. Can't wait to come back in a week's time at Miami. It's going to be a lot of fun. Then we'll see you there. Until next time, have a great night.